Welcome to Everlasting Life. For those of you who are here for the first time, who's here for the first time? One? Only one person? Okay, two people. Two people. That's what's up. That's good and bad. It's good that all of you all have been here before. It's bad because we need some more people in there, but it's all good. Because I guarantee you, if I know one thing about this brother, I know he's going to give it all up. So y'all are going to get the information. Y'all share it with y'all friends and family and loved ones and say, look, this is what you missed. What? I didn't even know. Yes, you did. I told you yesterday. He was on the radio show. I told you need to go because your relationships have been bad for the last 20 years. And you're trying to figure out why you can't get the right relationship. That's because you keep going for guys with their names, keep going after Wayne. You know,
Little Wayne.
Going after Tyrone, you know. So, again, numerology is a science that for many of us back in the day, you know, numerology, astrology, yoga, meditation, that was, especially for us Christian folks, that was like taboo. That was like black magic. We couldn't touch that. You know, and it wasn't until later in my life that I realized, well, wait a minute, these sciences predate all the sciences and religions that we got today. So maybe there's more validity to that than in what we're believing and basing many of our decisions and how we think and what we believe and what we're expecting to happen after this thing that's happening now to happen. You know, hey, anyway, everlasting life. We are 24 years old, and can I get a hand for 24 years old? Our business objective when we opened was to provide a viable food source to communities disserved and underserved. And we're still in that same space. Look around. You see who we serving, and you see who served you the food, right? Y'all caught that? Yeah, that's by design. We decided we would take the healthiest food that we had access to, and we would wrap it inside of soul so that it would attract you on purpose. Not by mistake, but on purpose. We wanted to attract you. So we've been in business for this many years. We have 3 locations. We have one in Anacostia, Southeast. What's up? And we have one in Tacoma, because we needed to extract some resources from that side of the world so we could build up this side of the world, right? That's a strategy, y'all. Don't be mad at me because I went over there. I went over there so I could do something over here. Y'all with me? Yeah. So we have the best vegan, I think we have the best macaroni and cheese on the planet, but I'll limit it and say we have the best vegan macaroni and cheese that I've ever tasted. And I make sure, I taste it frequently, so I make sure it keeps getting better and better and better. And again, our goal is to attract you so that you can have a longer life, a better quality of life, and so that you can begin to realize that eating healthy is not something for people that don't look like us. It's actually for us too. And we've been successful at it. So I'm thankful for those of you who chose to come out today, those of you who are customers, those of you who are longtime customers, we greatly appreciate you. It's we can't do it without you. We couldn't do today without you. We will not stay in business without your continued support, spreading the word about what it is that we're doing, and getting us to your pastors of your churches, your community leaders, your family reunions, your whatever it is that you got access to, everybody that you know. And if you know somebody who doesn't, let me know. But everybody you know eats, right? And everybody you know wants to, and deep down in their mind, they really want to eat healthy. Okay? So that's what it is that we're doing on the health side. So we have the 3 restaurants. We have the televised radio station right behind you for those of you who have a voice, or if you don't have a voice that you want to have heard, not a singing voice, but a voice. I'm good with the volumes, brother. We good. And if you have a show or an idea that you'd like to present, we'd love to, have you do a show with us. We're only $25 a show. You can't go anywhere and pay $25 for anything. A bag of groceries is more than $25. But for $25 now, you can have a show with an engineer, a studio, and 3 camera shoots, and it can be broadcast out to the internet so that all the world can see it for $25. That's that's what everybody just needs to get. Come on, give it up. Yeah. And how do we do it? We do it because we have events like this, and because we have restaurants that are underwriting the cost of the radio station. Now, a couple of other things before we dive in and start talking more about our brother and the work that he's going to do with you. First off, I hope that you all came with pen and pad and you all are ready to get this information information and use this information in your life. This is not just some cursory, oh, let's go see that guy speak. No, this ain't one of them. So if you need, go to the dollar store, grab yourself a pen and pad so that you can write down notes and record this information, because there's going to be some information that's unique to you that you'll want to get, so that you can figure out, oh, that's why I got the personality that I got. And that's why I am the way that I am with money. And that's the reason why I'm so on and so forth. So you know where I'm going with this. How many of you, this is your first time hearing about numerology? So everybody heard about it before. Okay, good. So we got, we don't have a classroom full of freshmen. We got some sophomores, juniors, and seniors in the room. And am I bringing someone else on before I bring you? Okay, great. Well, give me a little business card so I don't make a mistake. I don't like making mistakes on the camera, because then I can't erase it, go back and correct it. Now all I need is my glasses. Okay, there it is. I got it. And so before we actually go into the numerology, we're actually going to go into astrology. Back in the day, you used to say, I don't even get into that astrology stuff. Somebody would say, I'm a Libra. Yeah, I don't even get into that. You know why? Because somebody told us that it has no basis. It was baseless. And they lied. And they lied for their benefit, because they wanted us to base their whole existence on everything that they gave us and nothing that we had before or that predated them, right? So today we're opening up our minds and our hearts to receive a higher vibrational frequency that's going to elevate us so that we can get beyond the maze and the muck and mire and all the confusion and the death and destruction, because we want to get to the other side. And I'm not talking about a religious other side. I'm talking about an intellectual and a mental and a spiritual other side. We have to get through this so that we can get to the other side, so that we can really begin to build as a community. Because we're not building right now. We're just holding on. Too many of us are just in that holding on mode, and we don't grow when you're in the holding on space. So without further ado, I'd like to bring before you with Quiet Storm. Here it is, Quiet Storm, Know Thyself Astrology. We in the middle of this storm, right? And you can find peace, and you can build, and you can grow, and we can have relationships, and we can have unity, and we can have love. And I'm sure just in the expression Quiet Storm, because I think about music, and I think about art, and I think about spirituality, and I think about this beautiful sister who caught my attention when I walked through the door, that we're going to have our sister come up and speak to us. And is this the name? Natal charts?
Natal chart.
Oh,
yeah,
Natal.
I'm going.
I'm sorry.
She'll talk about that.
I'll talk about it.
I should have left that. Can you erase that? I'm going in now. We're going to try this out. Because we color folks now. We comes up with some names now.
Natal
Natal. Okay.
I got Natal charts. Who's going to be introducing Kings. Without further ado, my sister, Quiet Storm.
Give her a round of applause. Come on.
Hello. That's a nice one.
Right.
All right. Thank you for all coming this evening. If everyone could just close their eyes, take a deep breath, hold it in a couple of seconds, let it out. One more time. That was more for me, for my nervousness up here, but that should help y'all as well. So I go by Quiet Storm. I will get into that as far as my name goes. Has a little bit to do with Smokey Robinson, has a little bit to do with the era of Quiet Storm, growing up, listening to that segment in the music industry. So I just wanted to kind of start out with a roll call. Do we have any fire signs in the house here? We got one fire sign. One? Okay. Two? Okay. And fire signs is Aries. We got Leo and Sag. So we got two. Any air signs in the house here? Okay. All right. Our air signs is Aquarius, Libras, and who else? Geminis. All right. Okay. In the front. All right. What about our water signs? All right. Water signs. Yes, that's Scorpios. our Pisces and our Cancers, all right? Who else we missing? Somebody missing. Earth signs, all right? Where the earth signs at? All right. That's our Taurus, our Virgos.
Oh, so I'm an earth sign.
Yeah, you're earth sign, all right? Didn't know you know now. Now Capricorn, they're also our earth sign, okay? So you all have heard of astrology to some extent, whether that be right now, last night, maybe from your mother, your grandmother, but astrology has always been with us for a long time. Let's see if I can get this in. Here we go. Anyone have any belief? No belief in astrology. They just say, okay, it's that horoscope thing that they just tell me something about something and it doesn't really pertain to me. Okay, well that's good. I think Dr. Baruch already put out there that, we're already on that level 2 and 3 and 4 of astrology, which is good. Anyone ever wonder why you attract certain signs? Ever had that thought, right? As an air sign, okay, what do you know about fire signs?
That I'm so attracted to them.
That you're attracted, okay.
They like my fire, they make that air.
Okay.
Blow all the way up.
Okay, all right, water signs. How do you feel about the earth signs? What is it about the earth signs that attract you? You ever had a sign that didn't quite, from your knowledge, aren't supposed to be compatible, but somehow you get along with that water sign, but you're supposed to be getting along with other fire and air? Your earth sign, and I don't know how I like this air sign. Okay. Well, the natal chart, as Dr. Baruch was saying, the natal chart is actually a snapshot of when you came out the womb. Okay. Anyone heard of natal charts? Okay. For those who have not, natal chart is, like I said, the snapshot. It is the blueprint of when you came out your mom, okay, anywhere in the world. There is a specific day, time, month, year, even the longitude and the latitude matters when we're talking about the natal chart. And as we delve into that, we're going deeper into astrology. Okay, we're beyond the elementary level of what a horoscope or your sun sign is, because you are more than your sun sign, right? So with that being said, everyone look to your neighbor, find somebody you can lock eyes with, and say, neighbor, you're just another part of me.
You're just another part of me.
Okay? Y'all know Michael Jackson said, yeah, ooh, yeah, all right? There is a reason why, even though people are unlike signs, there's still something in our chart that will attract, or could repel, but it will attract them. So as we get into the depths of your natal chart, we learned of what is an ascendant sign. We learned what a moon sign is. We learned a Mars. You have all the planets in your chart. So when you say you're just another part of me, there's every piece of someone in this room that is a part of you. This is why it's very easy to recognize certain things in people that maybe you like or you don't quite like, because it's a part of you too. So once we become more conscious of ourselves, it's very easy to be able to, let's say, give people a pass, but to become more forgiving of others that we don't quite mesh with. Okay? Anyone know what a Rubik's Cube is? Okay. Anyone know how to solve a Rubik's Cube? Okay. Okay. You attempted. Okay. For those who have attempted, yes. Right? Okay. What about those who they look at a Rubik's Cube and they're like, you know what? Hell to the no. I'm not even gonna try to attempt that thing because it's too complicated and all that. Okay. So wherever you are in that, that thought process of what a Rubik's Cube is, that is how, when you came out of the ethers, how your natal chart is, okay? When a Rubik's Cube is solved, all the colors on one side are solid in formation, they're in alignment, right? And as you come through, or as the Rubik's Cube gets manipulated, there's change and turn and twist, okay? And the colors tend to go off on different sides, get grouped up with another set of colors. And, you know, depending on how you look at it, it's either, oh, okay, I can't get this, so I'm gonna try to attempt to figure this out, or you might just be somebody who could actually solve no issues. May need some help, but that is what I help with, assisting you trying to solve, not so much the Rubik's Cube, because I can't solve the Rubik's Cube, but to know thyself, to learn the different twists and turns within your natal chart that can help assist you as to why that is in your life. And as we go deeper in astrology, we have different houses, okay? And there's 12 houses. Each house is assigned to different parts of your life, okay? So we got the first house is about yourself, your second is your family, your third is siblings and neighbors. We got fourth house is usually your mother, fifth house is kids, your sixth is hidden enemies and health. Seventh house is your partner, spouse. Eighth house is in-laws. Ninth house is a teacher. 10th house is your father. 11th is friends and networking. And then the 12th is your spiritual self. Okay? So on this day, on this month, on this day, at this hour, something is going on in the cosmos that has brought you all here. That could be highlighted in your 11th house. Okay? The cosmos are always changing. Just like a Rubik's Cube, when you try to figure it out, it's like a combination. You got to do a couple turns here, a couple twists here, just to try to find back to formation or alignment. Okay? This is why we don't feel the same way every day. You don't feel the same way every hour of the day. So when you learn about your natal chart, you are not the same exact person as you came out of the womb, because the cosmos are still changing. They're always evolving. They're always shifting positions. So as an astrologer, if you go to a good one, they will let you know at what part of your life you have planets or stars affecting you. 7 years, you might have bad luck of financial issues. That could be something transiting in your second house. You could have a time where, you know, you're feeling froggy. You want to get with somebody. You want to have some babies. Okay, you might have something activating that fifth house, and we start going into compatibility or synastry is when you're laying your natal chart on top of someone else's. Okay, and it doesn't have to be in an intimate relationship. It could be your siblings, it can be your parents, it can be your kids, it could be your coworkers, it could be your friends. Okay? Know that you are always evolving. This is why we don't usually have the same childhood friends as adults. Sometimes some of us, we get less and less friends as we get older. Okay? It's not a bad thing. It just means that you have evolved. Okay? So, am I on time? So with that being said, I have a website I'm going to write up here for you guys to take down. QuietStormAstrology.com. QSastrology@gmail.com is my email. I also do metaphysical therapy. I have studied from the School of Thought. That went into quantum physics and metaphysics and learning about how the vibrational energy that we have affects others. Once you learn thyself or know thyself, Can't nobody tell you about yourself, okay? This is when we grow up. As a kid, we was teased because maybe your hair was different or your eye was crooked or whatnot. You got older, it's like, okay, yeah, so my eye crooked or what? So what? I'm a rap. I'm gonna make a song about it. Can't nobody tell you about your eye, you know? So once you learn about yourself through the natal chart, you understand and accept yourself, and you work with, you use it as a tool per se, but you work with that to know if, sorry, can we silence the phone? I'm not sure. Thank you. We work with the natal chart to help you and assist you and guide you throughout your, you can say, your obstacles. Okay? All right? Everything is to help you get to that better level or that better version of yourself. All right? There's always a duality. As you'll see with numerology, there's a duality with everything. Just like with an air sign, they have their good side to them and their not so good side to them. Same thing with Libras. There's some things about Libras that tick some people off, but then there's some good qualities about them. Okay? Same thing goes with each of the houses. Same thing goes with each of the planets that are in your chart. Okay? As above, so below. Everything you experience in this lifetime is because of the numbers, it's because of the stars and the planets and the cosmos. Okay? Any questions? Yeah.
Do we have contracts before we come here?
Like a soul contract? Is that what you're asking?
Contracts with your parents and friends, family, and
Uh,
associates?
So people say, you know, we have soul contracts that we had signed up for this. We want to look into our North Node. Our North Node is another aspect of the natal chart that we came down here to complete a mission. And if it's not fulfilled or it's not completed, we will end up returning back to try to figure it out again. So it's that Rubik's Cube that we have to manipulate. Okay? It is possible to, we're going to keep it positive. It is possible to foretell events that are not pleasant in astrology. Okay? As we start getting to deeper levels, higher, like Nostradamus type levels. I'm sorry?
Like Nancy Reagan used to do that. She was deep into
Yeah.
astrology.
Okay.
Yeah, Nancy Reagan. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So a lot of the, let's say, the people who would like to control the masses usually go to astrology and numerology. Okay? So what we're doing here is to try to teach you those secrets as well, so that you can learn within this matrix how to maneuver and how to use that to better yourself, to get to the next level. Okay? I thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm gonna write my information up on here for you guys, and I'll be over here on the side. If you want to get a natal chart reading, let me know. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Sister Natal.
Natal. Natal. You bugging. You bugging.
Yeah. So did you all learn something?
Yeah.
Sure. There's a lot to, and that's just the tip, literally the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. Now we're jumping into numerology. And again, this is a brother who I've known, you know, if you ever are in the space of conscious people in New York, no matter what borough you're in, you know, you can mention, you got credentials when you mention our brother's name. You mention King Simon, all of a sudden, oh, yeah, come on in. Come on in, you're good. You're good. You know King Simon and you know somebody. You know, and I remember when I first heard the stories of a brother who was on the street all the time, handing out flyers to people, getting out people, you know, in the hedges and the byways and trying to wake them up so that they would now come and hear some of the consciousness coming out of some of these different forums that were created by him, set up by him. It was very impressive to think that he would commit that much energy to try to help our people out. You know, And there are a lot of us that have decided to go other routes and do things that just pad our own pocket and make ourselves fat, and we don't care about everybody else. But our brother has committed himself to his people. And in the learning of this science, he's further now committed himself to his people, and that he has the wherewithal now to numerologically, give you guidance, understand where you are in your circumstance, and know, what you need to do in order to get this thing right. It's like a GPS navigation system. Somebody who can come in and tell you that kind of information. And I pray that you drop all of the barriers and borders and all the things that make you uncomfortable with this science for those who are here for the first time. Come on through, open up your mind and listen to what it is that our brother's going to share with us. And without further ado, I want to bring him up because he's the one that's got the information. I want to bring up Brother King Simon of New York City.
I'm going to use this. Thank you very much. That's for question and answer. So, brother, you might have to calm this mic down because my voice. I am a regular radio host. I used to be a reggae artist back in the day. Went up to number 5 on the reggae charts back in the day. So this might cause a feedback, but I won't be able to question and answer when it's time. But thank you, brother. Give another round of applause for Dr. Baruch. I mercy. I'm a real Caribbean. I do everything. I go clean up something today. I can clean up the board. I mean, my family's Jamaican, Cuban, mind. So we do everything anyway. So it is what it is. And please continue to support this place. Give this place a round of applause. The staff, the people that treated me. I may not remember their names, but I will remember their birthday. Like my sister, she born July 29th, and I remember her birthday. She just told me once, and that's it. So, yeah. Everybody can hear me? Everybody can hear me? Good. Because I know I start projecting. Now, did y'all get Quiet Storms, astrology.com? Y'all got it? Y'all sure now? Yeah. Did you write everything? You take a picture. We got cell phones now. You can take pictures, videos. You can do all of that now. Stop playing. That's right, technology. And we are in that age of Aquarius, of technology. So you got to be able to use it or it will lose you. And I tell people, look, don't be afraid. Because when I was in my religious mind, and those who don't know me, and I got to say, Hotep to the family. Hotep means peace, unto your offering of peace. Shalom, which also means peace, an offering of peace. Shabbat shalom, yes, right. Assalamu alaikum, which also means peace. Islam, which also means the same. Irish, Jamaica, Irish, everything peace. Peace be unto you, and peace be unto all of our ancestors. And those that are older than 52, anybody older than 52, please raise your hand. Because I'm 52 years old. Am I allowed to speak, elders? That I have to ask that. We got to respect our ancestors and respect ourselves. Give another well-deserved round of applause for our one and only Quiet Storm. It's Quiet Storm. Stop singing that song now. She's just a good friend of mine. Don't worry. Having fun. But before I erase her thing, I want to make sure everybody got that. And I just want to shout out, I would be remiss if I don't promote. Because I am a natural promoter. Even my name adds up to the number 5, which is the natural promoter. Learn a lot of that. So, bang, I got to big up, of course, this place again. Give this place a well-deserved round of applause. Since we're online, give this place everlasting life a well-deserved round of applause. Come on. We're doing the Black Power Blueprint Speakers series. And, of course, those that are online that are watching, big up to Uno here. And don't forget this address is 9185 Central Avenue. Come on out, enjoy yourself. Don't forget next week you got the judge of all judges coming in. Judge Joe Brown. Give him a round of applause, man. Come on. Man, y'all ready for Judge Joe Brown? Man, I watched him all the time on television. He was something else, believe me. Before that, of course, we had our brother, Professor Griff. Give Professor Griff a well-deserved round of applause. A good friend of mine also. Yes. Of course, next week, after Judge Joe Brown, we got CR Gibbs. Give CR Gibbs a well-deserved round of applause. I am a promoter. I got to keep on promoting and helping out as much as I can. Also, if you're going to be in the New York area, you want to watch it on live stream. I got Baba Ashra Crazy and Sister Shaharazad Ali coming together. Together, that's right. Oh yeah, the same venue, same house, same place. And that's going to be at the National Black Theater in Harlem. over there at 2031 Fifth Avenue off of 125th Street. And if you can't come on out, we got the live stream, but guess what? Baba Astrology do not like sharing his intellectual property. So, and I understand he's a Sagittarius. I understand. He's a different type of Sagittarius. He born the 12th of December. So I understand, my brother, why he don't. Because he's been through so much and people been robbing and using his material and making money off his material and never supporting him. Not like people like me who bring him in and send him money or help him get people to go on his tours and all that. And make sure you go to chemicnewproductions.com or chemicnew.com and go on his tours to Ethiopia, to Kemet. Give Baba Kwesi for doing such a great job over the years, as well as a round of applause. And he'll be speaking on the origin of the Bible and Quran revisited. Why are we still following our enemies' dogmatic religions? And then Sister Shahrazad Ali, if you know who she is, she wrote the Black Man's Guide and the Black Woman's Guide. And she wrote Why Not You Shouldn't Eat the Pork. She wrote all that. They call her the ultimate they call her the ultimate MGT, GCC, from under the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. She ain't following nobody else. Minister Farrakhan, I love him. Silas, I love him. I love them all. Solomon, I love them all, but she ain't following nobody but the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, because it's him who did the work first before these came out. So give her a round of applause. Yes, Sister Shahrazad Ali. And only her will be live streamed for the first time ever. Sister Shahrazad never really likes to be live streamed because she don't trust the devil, which I totally understand. So what we're going to do is actually live stream only her part. We're going to make sure she gets the funds from that and do what we have to do with that, and then take it off a week after. So if you pay for it in advance, you only get to watch it for a whole week, and that's it. Hers is gone. She'll transfer it to DVD, whatever she wants to do with it. That's her business. That's her intellectual property. And she's going to be speaking on this for the first time. Monogamy and polygamy. Which one is best for the black man and woman in these days and times? Ooh, yeah, it's a touchy one. Some of y'all might not want to share men, but y'all sharing them anyway. So you're not doing polygamy, you're doing nigamy. So if you're doing niggonominy, or whatever they call it nowadays, it's just, and I've known, some of the elders back in the day have done polygamy. Of course, we know Dr. Sabi, our great elder, did it and ended up with one wife. Dr. Africa did it and ended up with one wife. You did it too, Brother Baruch? You did it, and you ended up with one wife. You're down to one wife now? It's a young man's game. That's why. You got to stop playing. Huh? It ain't over. It ain't over. Phil Valentine did it. Dr. Phil Valentine did it. Because I talked to all these elders. These elders tell me all kinds of stuff. And I'm not going to get all deep in their business, but I'm just letting you know it has been something that we have been striving to practice for in America, but it's hard, especially with our black women here. Our sisters ain't going for that unless you got things going right. You can't bring polygamy to our women. They're not going for it unless they understand the dynamics of it, unless they was raised in it most of the time. And that's what I got. So she's going to be speaking on that. Next, Dr. Laila Africa and his beautiful wife, Dr. Melanie. Give them a round of applause. They'll be coming in May 5th in New York City, Brooklyn, New York, at Joel Benjamin's spot. We'll be in Nicholas, Brooklyn, and we'll be live streaming it on Joel Benjamin's live stream connection. So you can watch it on the live stream. All you have to do is call them. I'll put all their numbers. I'll give you all the flyers. And he's not doing a lecture. He's doing a conversation with Dr. Africa and Dr. Melanie, where any medical question you have, allopathic question, any homeopathic, naturopathic, whatever you got, he's going to answer them. Even if you're online, we're going to take the questions from people online that will type and say, look, we want to ask Dr. Africa this question. We're dedicated to the online people that are watching. So he will be taking any and all questions. This is not a lecture because it's about giving you solutions on health, because a lot of us are still eating bad. Even though we're in this beautiful place, we still go home and tap into some Twix or eat some kind of candy. We'll still do our sugar stuff, our sugar rush. And I understand some, and that's why Dr. Africa always say, do the best you can, King, do the best you can. That's all you can do. Do the best you can. You've been to his class, so you know. And he's about the balance, the male and the female dichotomy of course, of health. Because the European teach from a male perspective, he teaches from a masculine and feminine perspective. So you should take his class while he's still here. He's 70-something years old. Take his class. He works out every day. He runs. He works out. He does his thing. He still maintains his health. Take his class. We're losing them and they're not going to live forever. And I always used to tell Dr. Sabi when I used to bring him in, why don't you write your book, Doc? Oh, book, Simon, book. It'll only stay on there and just gather dust. But it would last forever for us as far as legacy. But his legacy is lasting through his children, 25 or 27 of them that he has. And so Dr. Sabi did his thing. Congratulations. And they're all into health, which is interesting. They're all into health, natural health. But because he's born under the number 8, born on the 26th of November, just like Tina Turner, that is the legacy leaving number. The number 8 is the legacy leaving number. So understand, every time I mention that, you understand. Dr. York is born under the 26th. It's a legacy leaving number. He's left a community. That's what has happened. So you got to pay attention to numbers. So Dr. Africa will be in town. Of course, if you want to go to my YouTube, that's King Simon Presents on YouTube. You can subscribe and then you find, I am the Numerator. I invented that word, the Numerator, because I use numbers to motivate people. Numerovation, Numeroversity, that's all me. If you Google me right now, Numeroversity or Numerovation, they'll say King Simon. That's it. Yo, if they could put bootylicious in a dictionary, I'm going to make them put Numerovation in a dictionary. And that was Beyonce's work. So they can do it. We are the originators of language. Just don't forget that. We are the originators of numbers, astrology, astronomy, all the great sciences. It's just that they flipped it on us, took it away from us, and now are controlling us with it, because places like NASA has numerologists, astrologists, and astronomers. They have all of it. I have a book right here written by somebody who used to work for NASA, Michael Brill. Oh yes, get the book, Numerology for Decoding Behavior. It says right here, numerology since 1985 has worked with schools, business, government, including 10 years with the aerospace industry and 2 years with NASA. This is what he's saying. So let's not play games here. I've heard every astrophysicist, from Neil deGrasse Tyson to Hawkins, Stephen Hawkins, to all these great ones, Mr. Green and all of them say, the universe is mathematics, the universe is numbers, the universe is this. But we're on Earth, whether it's flat or round, that's your prerogative. We're on Earth and we're in the universe. Aren't we connected to these numbers in some form? Common sense now says we got to go back and understand. So in order for, like Sister said, to know thyself, numerology, astrology, all these different modalities, you should study for yourself, because I'm not going to be around forever. My teacher, Lloyd Strayhorn, is not going to be around. Give a round of applause to Lloyd Strayhorn, too. That's one of my teachers. Yes, that's my brother from another mother. Of course, my book is on. I didn't bring on my book because I travel so much and to lug around a bunch of books. I'm not driving. I'm on Greyhound until I'm able to fly the friendly skies again, because of some stuff I did, radical stuff back in the day with Khalid. May Khalid rest in peace. I can't travel outside of the United States. It's cool. And I'm all right with that. But I'm working on it, so by this year, next year I'll be definitely traveling. I'm going to Africa. I'm going all over the place after I get all this stuff together, because you have to write letters and all kind of craziness to the borders of Canada. I brought Khalid to Canada. You know Khalid, when he went to Canada, he came to debate the Jews and the Arabs. And none of them showed up. But they trickled themselves in the audience. And he handled their backside from the audience. He kept on laughing in Arabic and Hebrew. He brought it all down to them. And I got it on YouTube. Khalid in Montreal. You Google that. Khalid, I gave one part of it because it was filmed on VHS at that time. And it kind of got messed up, so I was only able to put one part. But I'm telling you, when Khalid ripped into them, and they were the pale ones, the pale Jews, and the pale Arabs that came in. And he just ripped into them, and we was at Concordia College in 1994. So believe me, and when he got banned from Canada, guess who got banned from Canada? And a few other friends of mine got banned from Canada, those that was building the study group in the Nation of Islam at that time, when I was in the Nation at that time. Also, if you want any of my Numerovation products, I have t-shirts, my whole Numerovational line is on. You can go to my website and you can get all the t-shirts, all the different things connected to number, or you can get yours personalized. If you want it personalized, you just have to text me and let me personalize it for you with your name or whatever you want on it, with your birthday. But I make sure I put every number and its affirmation connected to it. So if you're a number 1 or born on the 10th, the 1st, or the 19th, or the 28th of the month, I put that leadership, courageous, affirmative affirmation on there for you to understand that you walk in that, because I do numerovation because I'm using the numbers to keep you motivated, even though numbers reveal, like Sister said, the duality. I've studied Abjad, which is from Arabia, or the Islamic banner of Islam, of Sufism. I've been in the Sufi order since 1985. I've studied Sufism, and they had numerology, but they use numerology again as a guide, not to worship and to praise. And when I talked to one of my imams, who I've studied under Imam Siraj of Brooklyn, New York, I've studied under him. He said Islam has always looked at numerology as something in the gray area. It's not bad and it's not good to them. So they just keep it simple and stay within the hadith and do their Quran, which I respect that. But when I broke it down to Imam Siraj, and I was married to his secretary at one time, I broke it down to Imam Siraj. He brought the book right out of my hand when I broke down the numbers. That it's not about worship. It's just like the GPS he used from coming from where his house to his business. It's about guidance, like Brother Baruch said. It's about guidance. And what I do is triangulate in my sessions. I don't call them readers. In my sessions, I triangulate what's going on in your life, whether positive or negative. I triangulate what's going on in your past, whether traumatic or whatever. I see the numbers tell me this because certain people have a certain talent with it, and because numerology helps to bring out the intuitive faculties out of the individual when you study it enough, then you're able to use it to help others. Because my job is to help and guide. And if you could use that as one of the tools of God, and astrology is one of the tools, or the Quran is one of the tools of God, or the Bible is one of the tools of God, they got a book of numbers. Come on. In the Quran, it says over it is 19. 19 represents something. The number 9, 1 and 9, the first and the last, the Alpha, the Omega. When I broke that down to Siraj, he then understood. He said, okay. He said, how much is your book? I said, $20, sir. Thank you very much. And that was it. He got it in his library. It was a brief read, but he understood. And that's what's so funny. That's why when he said about relationships, what Baruch said about relationships. I was married. My last wife was a Sunni Muslim sister, beautiful sister. She was the secretary of Imam Siraj. She was. I don't know if she's still there. But she had a problem with my numerology. And sometimes I came out of Islam. So even if I married an Islamic woman, I still respect you for the discipline because I passed that already, but I understand why you need that. And so you don't try to disrespect anybody that has not reached your level, because there's a level that you're at for you to be here. It takes an open mind to accept this out of either Islam or Hebrew or Christianity. So my wife didn't accept it, so we divorced within a year and a half. After 4 consultations and 4 meetings with the Imam said to me, pulled me to the side. He said, you know, Brother Simon, well, he knew me, Muhammad, that's one of my names. He said, Brother Muhammad, he said, sometimes our sisters don't understand that when a man is on a journey, and vice versa, if a woman is on a journey, you can't hold him back, but you need to respect what that person is doing to better himself. If I'm not corrupting the world and doing different things to disrespect the world with numerology, because you can do the negative with numerology, because people have done it. But if I'm not doing it and I do it with the purest intentions, then brother, continue to do. And I told Imam, I said, I love her enough to let her go. Sometimes you gotta let them go if they're not going to be supportive, because an unaffirming relationship is a detriment to anybody. I've seen relationships and heard through studying different lectures, like motivational lectures like Les Brown and various other people, that his own friend died because of a non-affirming relationship. People can drop dead because they're stressed. And if that person is not walking the walk with you, whether it's going into astrology or numerology, or just willing to be their best, going to Quita Ford's class, going to Dr. Africa's class, or trying to be their best in some way, if they're not walking that walk with you, the stress is going to pull on you, and you're going to be fighting. And then they don't understand. It's like a sober person trying to get with a crackhead. Either you're going to become a crackhead with that person, or that person going to come to you, but it ain't going to be the other way around. One thing is going to have to lead to the other. So you got to be very mindful of who you allow in your space and your circle, family. This is real. So one brother said to me out of Atlanta, I won't even say his name, but he was in the Amen Ra squad. I'll say the group we part, because there's only one of them. The rest of them understood. He said, "Oh, what does astrology or numerology have to do with black power? What does it have to do with black power?" Just by the way I'm going, you know who it is. What does it have to do with black power? Y'all can guess now. I'm in Rock Squad. That's my boy. I love him. He born February 25th, but he tells me his birthday. How you gonna tell me your birthday? You don't believe it? That don't make no sense. I love him, but don't tell me your birthday. But so I said, brother, one thing Khalid taught us, and Khalid was, of course, one of the members of the Nation of Islam, one of the top people, and he used to teach us this in FOI class. I'm going to break it down to you right now. No, this paper's going to be no shabby. Look at all the paper going all over the place. Toilet paper. One thing Khalid taught us about, Khalid taught us this, about the concentric circle. Taught us in an FOI class back in the 90s. It's the concentric circle. In some symbols, it might mean a symbol of love in the Ghanaians and the Indigenous symbols. But it has to be a labor of love if you're part of this concentric circle. Hardcore, disciplined, straight person or Nation of Islam, that's what he was taking. Out here, you have to have your politicians. You have to have your religious people. You have to have your healers. You have to have your saints, saviors, soldiers, scholars, healers, and killers. All part of the circle, but they're at a different part of the circle. Everybody that's a healer might not be a killer. Although in martial arts, we're taught, I was taught under Dr. Moses Powell and Little John Davis and Anthony Muhammad, those people, as I was taught by them, they used to say, if you're a killer, you are supposed to be able to heal. If you could break something, you're supposed to be able to put it back and align them back again. That's why they taught us anatomy in the classes. How to strike and deal with certain moves and lock people and break joints are us. When you give us a joint in jiu-jitsu, we're breaking it. But the concentric circle, yes, there's the hardcore people, the ones that are just straight hardcore. Sometimes you keep them underground. In the Nation of Islam, we probably would call them the advanced FOI or the advanced MGT. Then you have your laborers. Then you have your private soldiers, your lieutenant, your captains. Concentric circle. And that's how you got to live probably in your whole family. Because not everybody belongs in your core. Because not everybody's going to understand what you're supposed to do and what you're doing in life. Not everybody understands your moves. You might have a mother and father that, they just the healers, or they just the ones that's supposed to show you little guidance to as much as they can. But that's the concentric circle we used to talk about. And I think I put it up on my YouTube too when he spoke on it. I know I sent one to my brother, Irritated Genie, before. I sent him a whole thing about that concentric circle because he's one who loved Khalid and talks about Khalid a lot. But I want people to really understand Khalid from not just when he was in the Black Panther, but he was teaching us some stuff in the Nation of Islam. And that's how he was able to connect us. He's born January 12th, the Capricorn spirit. I'm talking about numbers now. He's born January, so that number 1 and 2 is a 3, and it deals with expression and expansion. But the Capricorn energy was just ready to fight. He's hard-headed, ready. And most of the best boxers and fighters were Capricorn. Dr. Moses Powell was a Capricorn. Muhammad Ali was a Capricorn. Bernard Hopkins is a Capricorn. George Foreman is a Capricorn. We can keep on going down the list here. In martial arts and all that, especially here in America. And most earth signs, like one of my teachers, Abdul Karim, is the red beard. He's one of the chief security over there in ninjutsu. He's born under earth sign, born May the 17th. So anytime I see earth signs, I always tell earth signs if they have children that are born under earth sign and they're not willing to get, I said, look, get into some form of martial arts, get into some form of grounding discipline, because earth signs need that grounding. They need all that grounding. They need to be solid on the ground. What's the name of the earth sign? A Virgo, Lennox Lewis. Another, they need, and he beat Tyson. People don't talk about him, but he beat Tyson. He got all the belts. He walked away with all these belts. It is what it is. But understanding your astrology sign or understanding your numerology is so important, because numbers don't lie. People lie to themselves. Numbers can be manipulated. I never lie about that, because if somebody owns a statistic, or they say, okay, let's say they come inside here and say, okay, 90% of everybody in here got AIDS. Now, who told you that? You didn't try everybody in here. See, that's why we got to be careful of statistics and those type of things that are controlled by man. But when it comes to universal knowledge and universal information, mathematics, numerology just means the study of numbers, basically. How many people knew that? That numerology means the study of numbers? Raise a hand. That's all. Anything with an ology behind it means the study of, right? So numbers in all forms and facets of numbers is a study of math, a study of numerology, even mathematics, even algebra, even geometry. It's just that that's more abstract outside of you, and they had to pull it away from you so you wouldn't understand your true self and your true nature and how to use those vibrational numbers to help guide you. They had to pull it from you because according to their top scholar, Pythagoras, he went and studied for 22, watch that number 22 years in India and Africa and different places. Every white man that I read about in all the numerology books that I buy, they always take you to Kemet. They say Egypt, they always take you to Kemet. Oh yes, it was in Kemet, or it was under the the Chaldeans. But yet everybody would say Abraham was a black man, and Abraham came from Chaldea and Ur and Chaldea. Oh really? So Abraham was a black man, came from Chaldea, and most of the knowledge of numerology was from out of Chaldea and out of Egypt and those places. Numerology, or the study of numbers, is undoubtedly a black science. Don't run away from it. Don't hide from it. Use it. I'm not telling you to be somebody like me or Lloyd Strayhorn or anybody who write the book, but we're going to need some more people because you're going to have to help from your angle, help people from your way. And what Lloyd always taught us in class, but he said to me personally, he said, brother, take it in the way you can take it and then give it the way you have to, because all of us have a different experience. All of us have. So I do it from a motivational experience because I train under motivational speakers. I trained under Les Brown for a whole month in New York City. And he did it for free in New York for a whole month. And I took advantage of that. So when you take, in the 90s, and you take advantage of a Les Brown doing something for free, I jumped on it when I heard he said that. Place was packed the first time, and then it started dwindling down for the whole month. But he did it every Wednesday for a whole month back in, I think 1998 or something like that, and then he tried to do it again. But when you hear brothers like that doing those type of things, take advantage of all of it, because anything you intake, you can use it for what you're doing outside of your respective family or within your family. Les Brown has definitely helped me, so give him a round of applause, Les Brown, beautiful brother. So let's take you down the numerational lane. We're gonna have some fun. So everybody in here born under a number, and if you ain't born under some type of number, we can talk about it, how you got here, where you came through, and we can talk about it later. You know what I'm saying? But even if you don't have a birthday, because some Africans come over here without even a birthday or knowing their birthdays, but they come here with a name. And numerology, or the study of numbers, is the only system that can transpose letters into numbers. Hey, so you can't hide from me. If you tell me your name, okay, my name is Obuga, I got it. Okay, tell me how you spell that. Once you tell me how you spell that, or you tell me spell any African name or Chinese name, but in cultural existence, you can really, I tell people, if you're going to read a Chinese man's name, then go to Chinese numerology. They got Chinese numerology. I got a book on that. I didn't bring that by Barry Webster, but I didn't bring that here. But they got Japanese numerology. They got Indian numerology. They got all types of numerology. But the oldest of them all would come from Chaldea, and then they were taught numerology. So we don't know how far it does go back. But I know this book claims that it went back over 11,000 years. This is what she says. She says, and this is her name is Frederica of Florence. This is a good book. Your Days Are Numbered by Florence Campbell. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you better than I can. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. I'm gonna show you. These are the books you should get. This is written in 1931. Oh yeah, I had to redo it and get it all new covers and all kind of craziness. But in this book, what she says here, I want to say, she says the final words in the Egyptian ritual of the dead, called the Book of the Masters of Secret Houses. In the Indian Vedas, the Chinese Circle of Heaven, the Hebrew Kabbalah, we may find records to prove that the science of numbers was in use over 11,000 years, not 1,100, 11,000 years. There is good evidence that it is more than that, twice the age it says it is. This is what she's saying in the book. Now, this is one of the very powerful older numerologists back in the day. She says it also. He says it. Shiro was so good. This book is the book of Shiro. Lloyd Strayhorn recommended, and it was hard to find this book until one brother had it on the street. But that's why I always pay attention to street vendors, people selling dollar books and all that. I bought this book, which is 1890, written in 1990 for $5 on the street. So people selling books on the street that they might be throwing out their daddy's book or whatever, they selling their daddy and their grandpapa's book, get the book. Shiro is another one that was so good at numerology. Although India predates him, the people in India reprinted his book because he was so good at it. This man here. And in his book, he talks about the same thing. He says, the ancient people together with Chaldea and Egyptians were absolute masters of the occult or hidden meaning of numbers in their application into time and their relation to human life. He says it in his book. This guy predicted a man's death to the same month and the day he died. Oh, you can do it with numerology. You can predict it. Because once you start tapping into their challenges or their opposition numbers, more than likely in the critical cycles, that's when people usually pass on, like Dr. Delbert Blair passed on in his critical cycle. Frances Cress Welsing died in her critical cycle. Dick Gregory was also in one of his health cycles. I pay attention to this. It's just like Nipsey Hussle. If I had did a consultation for Nipsey, he was in his 7th year, and I'm like, we gonna go. He born August 15th. Oh yeah, we're gonna go into it. Because his birthday hasn't come, everybody's saying he's 33 years of age, right? He died because he would have been 34, which would have been another 7. But he was in his 7th. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure I got my things. It's all right. I like my data. Love my data. We're gonna deal with this. But he was in, according to the numbers from birthday to birthday. Let's deal with. So everybody's talking about Nipsey Hussle, and he has opened up a vortex for real. Understand that. And I want to touch on it. I knew I wanted to touch on it here. Okay, so this is the old way of doing numerology. A lot of people do it across. Y'all notice people do it across. They do the 8 plus the 1 plus the 5. That's the new way. This is the older way, and which most older numerologists would do it that way. So think about this, family. If I had done a consultation for Nipsey Russell, 8 plus 15 plus 2018 equals 2041. So this would be 2042. So in actuality, he would have been 2 plus 4 plus 1 equals
7.
7 is the spiritual number, spiritual awareness, spiritual ascension. If I talk to Nipsey this year, I would say, Nipsey, try to stay in your house as much as you can. Stay away from the hustle and bustle of life, because 7 is one of those meditative numbers that you're supposed to be to yourself and relax. You're not supposed to be too much into the business world, and I'm hearing that he was in front of his job, in front of his business. See where I see that? That's how you got to recognize. But he was going into a number 8 year, that means the 2 energies of these 2 years was in it. And it says that the guy that killed him, he did know the guy. He did know of this guy. They know from somebody from his past. 8 rules: past people coming back into your life, either to haunt you or to help you. That's the 8 number, because that's the ancestral number. That's the number of karma also, because it's connected to the Saturn. So I see all this. I even posted it on my Instagram, but I didn't want to go too deep because I didn't want them to think that I'm jocking on them. I'm not going to do that. I'm not jocking on anything. I just see the numbers and I just gave it a simple breakdown. Even now that they put down Dr. Sabi. Now we see Dr. Sabi's name coming up a lot. Yeah. Ooh, check out what I found when I went to the numbers. Ooh. Nipsey, and he died in the 33. We know that the Christ, according to biblical scripture, died in the 33. 33 name. Remember, he's born on the 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is also his number. 6 is the magnetic number. It's the 33 is also the master healer number, master teacher number. So whatever's happened in his 33 years, why he's died, no coincidence, because he's starting to heal certain things around the world by his death. Died at 33. Because that's the number of healing and expansion. If you don't believe me, I'll go to another older numerologist that says it in his book. He says, the number 33, willingness to serve others through healing, love. Number 33 is the teacher of teachers. The vibration reveals the ultimate love as it sacrifices everything in order to educate and heal others. This is what the book is saying. It's an older book. It's an old numerologist book now. It is a counseling and healing, and it's the illuminating understanding. So through his death in his 33rd year of his birth, of his life, he's illuminating things. And people were pointing all these numbers out to me, and I said, I already seen it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I already seen it, because anytime, and I tell this in my channel on King Simon Presents, anytime people's name or people's death or people's transition happen, consult the numbers, but usually your intuition already knows. But consult the numbers, because the numbers help to verify and clarify. Consult the astrology, because she would be able to do it, and my astrology coach with Brother Ampu and Minister Jew are also good at it. They went and did something on their line about the whole thing. So every time I think, my spirit always says, go to the numbers. My spirit says, go to the numbers. What's that? I'll thank you very much. So, Race, I'm here using toilet paper. Hold this, brother. You can throw this. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. So, moving right along, I just want to show y'all something else, because with Dr. Sabi born November 26th. I want y'all to, hey, y'all can write this down, November 26th. Because his birthday comes at the end of the year, he's still vibrating, on his energy on this earth is still vibrating in 2018. Add November 26th plus 2018, family. Please, who gonna get it first? Please. Well, I'm not a mathematician, I'm a numerologist. That's why I got to calculate. I didn't play with y'all. Plus 2018. November 26th plus 2018. How much is that? You sure now? I'm just saying, you sure now? Okay. Now 2018 is what? You're right. I'm adding the whole thing with the year and all that. It goes up to 2025. Okay, which is a number 12 or 3, but 21 is good because you're doing it a certain way. The 3, like I've been saying on my channel, the 3-year is the number of expansion, expression, and exposure. And Dr. Sabi has been exposed more. Always look at the birthday of the person that they name start talking up about. Just like when they did Sam Cooke. Let's go to Sam Cooke's show. Woo-hoo! Sam's birthday is January 22nd. Now, why are they bringing up Sam Cooke? Why did they do a documentary release one this year on Sam Cooke? Let's go with the years again. Let's go with this year, because they released it in this year. Let's do it. What's so important about Sam? What is so important about Sam? Why are they releasing Sam Cooke's now? That's what we got to come down to. Now, in this year, it will be 2042, which 2 plus 4 plus 2 equals 8. What did I just say about things coming back to either help you or haunt you? Old things. So they brought him back up to either help him or haunt him. What was the reason for this society or Netflix to bring Sam Cooke? Remember, Sam Cooke was one of the alpha males of that time that wanted to own his own masters, that run his own business and did his own thing. We got to pay attention to any time they say, oh, and they've been trying this from 2018, 2018, he was in that year, 2000, this was 2000, and 2017, he was in that year. So they've been planning this documentary for at least 3 years, if you study the history of the documentary coming up. They've been doing it, and they released it in an 8 year, which is a karmic number again. So everybody now is looking at Sam Cooke as like, yo, Now, either you're going to look at him as saying that he was just messing around with holes and they got shot, or y'all going to look at him and say he was set up. Because that's what basically how they left us. Like, yo, the man was set up and he got killed by some woman that worked with the mob or whatever. Either it's going to come back to hurt him or haunt him. That's what they're trying to do. Pull some old stuff to either bring his energy down, or because of how we're thinking now in this spiritual paradigm, it's bringing him up to us. Same with Dr. Sabi. People are now watching, either listening to Sam Cooke's music now. If you Google up Sam Cooke in YouTube, it's now up into the millions after that documentary. They don't know what they're doing. Because every knock is a boost. Every time you throw a stone, the more stone you throw, you're going to build a ditch that we can climb out of. That's what you're doing. You're doing it to Dr. Sabi now. We got to pay it. And then Dr. Sabi is born under the number 26, which is the 8. So all that, even his death was surrounded with money and laundering. And they said he didn't declare a certain amount of money. That's finance. That's the money thing. That's the money number. So I just want you to start understanding and paying attention to the number. I'm not trying to say be like the movie 23 with Jim Carrey, you know, little crazy stuff he was doing in the movies. But they throw those movies out there so they can throw you off. They throw movies like The Cure out there so they can throw you off. Because if you watch that movie, The Cure, that's what you'll find. That's what probably like things like Queen Afua does. You know, go to sweat lodges and all that. So they're telling you not to go to those places because it might be something that they poison you with. Why are they trying to take you away from your natural science? I watched The Cure. We watch a movie like Us. Who the Tethers and what's that all about? Now, my man, we got to talk about him. What's his name? Jordan Peele. We got to talk about him. We got to talk about his birthday because he born February 21st. We got to talk about him. And I'm just running down some celebrity names just before I get into what I got to start spraying. Stop playing. I tell you, I do everything. Oh, Lord, my God, man, I have 10 on the jobs. But let's go to Jordan Peele, which is interesting because if you know anything about the Pisces energy, Pisces is one of the top signs or the well-known signs for secrecy. Yep. Bringing out secrets or revealing secrets or keeping secrets. Yep. If you study that sign. Them, Cancers, Scorpions, but that's the top one on the line for a lot of secrets. We got to pay attention. Now, he's born the 21st of February. Let's add what year he's in right now, which is going to be quite ironic because his birthday just passed, and all this stuff happened in his reputation cycle, according to numerology. Because in numerology, we have different cycles that we go through. The critical cycle is always 52 days before your birthday, and the reputation cycle always comes 52 days after your birthday. That's what you're doing. Then the next one is the journey, and the next one is the mental, and the next one is the success. Those are how it goes in succession. But it's 7 major cycles coming from the Rosicrucian science of numerology, because I study all of them. And when you do a numerology session with me, I make sure I relate all your numbers and all different sciences of numerology so I can get the best out of you using those sciences and how to use it to navigate through the next period that you might be. Sometimes it might be a challenge, sometimes it might not be. But always pay attention to when people like astrologers like Storm or myself give you readings or give you some kind of constellation because we're trying to show you how to navigate from the challenges. I don't like to say positive and negative. I'll say high frequency, low frequency. If you stay on a low frequency, then it becomes negative or it becomes destructive. Because I know many people that are in their destructive mood. So Jordan Peele. Boom, boom. And he's in the number 8 year, money year. He's in the money year. But he came out with a movie that deals with darkness and the others. Remember, this is the karmic number. This is the number of the dark side on one side. And what's up? People got to understand that's why it's connected to the planet Saturn in numerology, which is that karmic or that constructive or destructive planet. Some people think the 8 is the infinity sign, right? So people teach it. In actuality, 8 was 2 different circles first. One going clockwise, one going counterclockwise. Rabbi A.A. Rashid proved this one time. A good friend of mine, A.A. Rashid, said it one time. Build In the 5% nation, they used to build and destroy. Either going clockwise, you building, or you going counterclockwise, you destroying. Telling you that it is in your own hands, whatever you do. That's why when I see a number of 8, because it's an ancestral number, it's an old soul number, when I see 8s in your chart, I know you have an old soul. People that are born on the 8th or the 17th or the 26th of the month, you find them really attached to older people. And as they get older, they start attaching to younger people. They start connecting with younger people even more. That's why the irony of, let's say, my brother Dr. York, as he was younger, older women was attracted to him. Then as he got older, younger women. I wasn't there. I don't know. I lived in the community, but during my time in the community in the 80s, I never seen him do none of the fools. I heard about the writings from Bilal Phillips and all that, but I never seen him do any pedophilia, none of that kind of stuff. I don't know. So I won't ever put him up. I've been treated well by Dr. York. I gotta say, I was treated well by Dr. York, and I was one of his reggae artists that was supposed to open up for his band. And I'm putting that in the record because it's gonna be in my autobiography. I'm gonna put that in the record. It's gonna be in my autobiography. But back to the 8. He's born under 26. Dr. York. Sabi, born under 26. His producer, I won't mention his name, producer saying that his daughter, Sabi's daughter, is the one that might be the cause of why he stayed in prison for too long. The one that's over there in Honduras. That's what was said by his close producer and a booking agent of his. Now, his daughter was born December 1st. And in numerology, the number 1 is a challenge number to the number 8. Always a challenge. Now, I'm going to reveal some of the challenges throughout the number. So we're going to go back to the number. We're going to start from number 1 because everybody over here is born under some number. So I'm going to show you what your challenges are, pardon me, and what to pay attention to when you deal with people that's born under those challenge numbers that you're connected with. And when it's time for question and answer, please bring some nice fun questions. I like fun questions. I have no problem with fun questions. And we're going to get it on the mic too. I want everybody to hear this because this is being streamed right now and I am recording it myself on a private page. I'm not sending it out yet. So let's deal with 0. Deal with 0. So 0, as far as you're concerned, people say it's not a number, but if there was no 0 in the computer language, there would not be a computer language. If 0 wasn't it. 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, the binary code. 0 is the female, 1 is the male. 2 is the female, 3 is the male. 4 is the female, 5 is the male. 6 is the female, 7 is the male. 8 is the female, and 9 is the male. So we know that they have gender, or what they have, the masculine and feminine part. But everything came out of the 0, the womb. Everything came out of the womb, the female. Let's not be under no illusion. And then the dot came. Then they have the symbol of the dot that came. Then it created the 1. Then it created the 2. Then it created 3, triangle. Then the 4 came up, the box. Then the 5 came up. That's the 5, the expansion now. Now that you've understand, when everything comes out, the 1 individual comes out where they say it's the male, female is already here. 2, male and female manifest physically and become 3 when they have the child. 4, they decide to build a home. That's what the box represents. The 4 represents the box, which deals with foundation, laying the foundation. 5 represents now man and woman decides to expand outside of the house. That's what the 5 represents. 6 is when this happens. And it comes together and makes the 6-pointed star. As above, so below. That's when they start becoming more knowledgeable of both heaven and earth. Then 7 represents the 7-pointed star. That's so much to draw my drawing ain't that good, but 7-pointed star, which deals with spirituality and spiritual growth of man. That's why 7 is always known as the number of God, or the number of seven days, and he rested and all that. 7 is always known. Then 8-pointed star dealing with the expansion into the material and understanding, because he already had the understanding of the spiritual world. The 8 is when now he connects the spiritual world with the physical world of the 8, because 8 is the money and power number. And if you're not in the years past, if you didn't handle your business all the way up to now, then you would either lose money or gain money. That's how the 8 works. And then the completion of man too. It starts over the cycle when it goes back to 10 and all that, but that's the completion, the ending, the death, or the transition of man. That's what 9 represents. But 9 also represents universal love, universal peace. And on the negative, it represents war, military, guns. Trump, he's a 45, he's the 45th president. Let's get this right. Hey, it is what it is. Listen, show you how this thing works. But that's how the numbers basically work as far as story is concerned. Now, some people may say, hey, how about those people in rural Africa or different places like this, the Seminoles that didn't understand numbers? See, one thing about the brain, we understand numbers even if we don't know the meaning or know the word called number or the number 1 or talitha. Like in the Arabic language, they have the talitha for 3 and wahid and all that kind of stuff. But we understand it. Just like, okay, let's say you're in the jungle and you know nothing about it, but you're attacked by one wolf. The mind has already developed a scenario on how to deal with 1 compared to dealing with 3 wolves. So they're already counting. The mind is already counting. So I would handle 1 wolf attacking me differently than if I had 3 or 5 of them. We already set that scenario. So we already understood the counting system in our brain. Common sense. We know how to deal with a wolf and 3 wolves coming. Now we need to either climb a tree or get the heck out of there. Something else, but we could deal with a wolf. 1 wolf we might be able to deal with, but we know they come in packs. So that's one method of understanding that we had the computing system in our brain. Even with the amount of children or the amount of things that you could, especially with the almanac, dealing with seasons and all that kind of stuff, we understood these things because we started measuring. And as a matter of fact, it was people, scholars like Baruch that always says that the first counting system started with the womb. They was counting their cycle. 29, 28 days, 30 days, counting their cycle. Or man was looking at, let me see how long she's gonna take. you know, man will start looking at it too, like, we're gonna have another one. But you gotta think, we had counting systems prior to either Europeans and all that. We had all of this, thousands and thousands of years in antiquity. And anytime you hear that word antiquity, family, know it means us. Please know that. Anytime you hear the word antiquity, because one of these white guys, I think he was the one that wrote it that, oh, the meaning was lost in antiquity. Huh? Anytime I hear antiquity, it's like, okay, when you go and research antiquity, it says ancient. The basic word of antiquity, if you Google antiquity, the word is ancient times. Who was there in ancient times beyond Europe? But us. So once we understand antiquity, that most of this stuff comes from your very DNA, your very soul. You're walking and living mathematics, family. All of us are. We got breadth, width, length, and we can count. I'm 5'6". You might be 5'7". You might be. We counting. Counting or numbers came to bring order. And they said it was the Arabs that came up with the 0, but Neil deGrasse Tyson said something very pointed one time on his broadcast. He said, how is it that these so-called Arabs, and he said it, so-called Arabs, are the ones that invented mathematical algebra and all these things, and they ain't doing nothing today and building nothing? He said, because it wasn't them. Neil deGrasse Tyson said this. And I dropped my dawn. I think I had a piece of bread in my hand. I dropped something. I said, I don't believe what he just said. But Neil deGrasse Tyson said that. How is it? Because there are imposters, like Khalid and all of them have been saying for years. They're imposters. The original Arabs, which comes from Araba, which means to migrate and move, because the word Arabia or Araba was an automobile, or they had autobutos, and they had Araba, and all these different, you gotta know language. They were nomads. Where did they migrate from? It wasn't Europe. They were migrating. Africa was migrating all into Europe. That's why they had the Grimaldis, which was taught by a great Virgo named J.A. Rogers. Born September the 6th. 6 is the educational number. Understand, like we need to study history and everything, because all of these science was a part of history also. And then at some point we lost it because they wanted to control us. It says, know thyself on the temples of Luxor. Know thyself in the Kemetic language. Know thyself. This is one of the ways to know yourself. Studying astrology is one of the ways to know yourself. But it's not the is-all or be-all. It's just a guide. That's why I put in the back of my book, I quote, if anybody has my book or plan on getting it, I quote Paracelsus, a German scholar. He said, and he's quoting and he's an astrologer. He's also the one that found toxicology. He's also one of those top scientists from back in those days. He said, men and women are superior to the stars if he or she lives in the power of superior wisdom. Such a person, being master over heaven and earth by means of his or her will, your willpower, you have the choice, is magus and magi, or magi. Remember, magus and magi was those ones that practiced alchemy back in the day and knew how to make things happen. And all of us do it all the time. When this sister said, y'all got to get those kind of pans, and she didn't have the money at that time, that's an alchemy now. You create the situation and circumstance to get that pan. Sisters want to get that shoes, them suicide heels, they create the situation and the circumstance to get that. That's alchemy. That's a form of alchemy. You may not be pulling gold out of the air and putting it all together, but that's a form of alchemy. You got to think about the people of those times didn't have so much distractions. So it behooved them to be more spiritual and connect with the stars. That's why, in accordance to biblical theology, it was the 3 wise men that followed astrology or astronomy, followed the stars to go find Jesus. They're studying something. They had to follow the star. What is that? When you're following a star, what are you doing? It's a science. 3 wise men. Why are they bringing myrrh and frankincense? Myrrh and frankincense are for healing, giving birth, for pain. We're not thinking. This is what we practice in earth. We practicing what Dr. Africa been talking about and what Dr. Sabi been talking about. And all of it was working together. Astronomy, astrology, all of that was working in one. And then they had to separate the science and put them in individual individual compartments and then push them away from us. They did it throughout all these ages, whatever they call the Dark Age or the Renaissance Age, whatever those ages was, they did it. So we got to go back to it, and this is the age that we're going to go back to it. But like he says, he continues to say, magus or magi, and magic is not sorcery, but supreme wisdom. Magic is not sorcery, because I have a book written by him called From Magic to Science, The Life and Times of Paracelsus. It's an old book. You can get it online. I think they sell it for like $100 or something now. I got it from a person who died next door, and they was about to throw away his books, and I just went and got all these books from this guy, H.G. Wells. I got all these books, but they wasn't going to sell this. They wasn't going to give away this Superman 1 comic book. Superman 1 is worth $1 million. That's why. So pay attention. We all have this natural power, and numbers just help to point it out. That's all. Numbers just help. And each one of the numbers, remember, they're female, male, female, male, female, male. If you're born on the 1st, the 10th, let's start with the people born on the 1st, 10th. You can raise your hand if you want, 1st, 10th, 19th, or 28th of the month. When I read, the duality of that is, yes, you are a leader. Yes, you would be a good business person. But at the other spectrum, I always like to point out the negative of the numbers, only because if you understand your negative, you can help you to be much better. So you don't fall into that. Because a pastor once said, his name is A.R. Bernard from CCC in Brooklyn, he says, we have to learn to manage our weaknesses and strengthen our strengths. So I would always encourage you, the number 1, to strengthen your strength of being ambitious, being courageous, being the trailblazer. But the negative of the number one is second guessing yourself, being indecisive, not being arrogant, hard-headed. That's the negative of the one. And then each one of these numbers have a element connected to it. This is a fire number. This is a water number. This is a fire number. This is an air number. This is an air number also. This is the earth number. This is a water number. This is the earth number. And this is a fire number. So they have gender, quote unquote. Let's put under that name here on this earth, or masculine and feminine. And they have the elements connected to it. And this would be ether, because it's all coming out of that. So everything has a gender. Even when you take my class, I break it all down. I know we can't do a full class here, but mine is like 4 weeks, 3 hours every day, and you get to ask questions. I only allow 10 people in my classes online. I only allow 10 people because I want to be able to answer everyone's question. That's why I only allow 10 people per class. Because sometimes people be throwing all kinds of stuff, and you just want to make sure you're paying your money. I'm going to make sure I want to answer all the questions. And if I don't have the answers, I go to the books. Because the books are here, and I got much more books than this that I study. Sometimes if you do a reading with me, I lay them around, and I'll be breaking it all down without touching the book. But something tells me to reach for that book. So, hey, those, peace. Peace, sister. I'm here, sister. Peace, sister. Good to see you. All right. So I reach out for the book just because something tells me that I need to clarify something with you. That's usually when I do my readings and session. I won't be doing any readings tonight, but if you do want to set up to do a numerology reading with me, I'll definitely book you. You can pay in advance, and I'll book you within the week. We can make it happen, finish it off, and do what we got to do. But I'm telling you, family, this has helped me so much, and I'm going to show you how this has helped me and other people. This is why I don't do PowerPoints. I can't write on a PowerPoint. I can't keep on moving with a PowerPoint, because sometimes PowerPoint keep me right where I'm at, and then I would need a board with me all the time. That's why I stopped doing PowerPoint. And I know how to do it. I can do a PowerPoint. I can do a whole PowerPoint on all this type of stuff. But sometimes your energy wants to go wherever you want to go with it. You want to write everything you want to write. Do what you got to do, and that's just me. So you're looking at a person that almost killed himself 3 times. And I'm gonna show you the years I did this, that I almost did. One of the years, and I had to remember, because as I'm writing this autobiography, a lot of stuff started coming up, and a lot of tears start coming down my eyes, because I'm not supposed to be before you. Oh yes, I am supposed to be before you, but 3 times I tried this. 3 times I tried. First age I tried this thing was at the age of 8 years old. Now, why would King Simon or Brother Simon try to kill himself at 8? Because my own family used to tease me about my skin complexion. And then being bombarded with that, my own sister, my cousins, my aunts and all that, how come they come out so black? How come you so light and him so black? All this kind of stuff used to happen. Then I used to go to school, get out in front of the blackboard and smile, Simon, because you're so black. Children used to just dog me, African booty scratcher. I had the whole career. I had all of this. So one time in my 8th year, I was 8 years old, which was interesting because I'm born February 1st, 8 is one of my challenge numbers. So I didn't know numerology then. I did not know numerology then until I started figuring what was going on at different parts of my life when I thought about taking my life. So in the breakdown of it, let me show you what I wrote. 8 years old, I was 8 years old in 1975. So my birthday is, say my birthday 1975. This was what I was going through. It adds up to 1978. And 1978 equals 25, which is a 7. In numerology, 7 is the number of depression. So I was in my personal year of depression. So I got depressed with what was ever happening at 8 years old now. I'm 8 years old. And it's only, let me give you the numbers that are depressive numbers. The number of depression, if you let depression take you on the negative, is the number 4. The number 7 are the 2 numbers. 7 and 4 are the top numbers on the depression chart. And then there's 5, and there's number 8. Those are the depressive numbers. But top on the chart is number 7. And then I'm at 8 years old, and that's one of the depression numbers. I did not know nothing about numerology at 8 years old. The next time that I thought about it was during my second marriage. Stress. I was 27 years old. Yep, I was married young, yo. Started young, yo. Started young. 27 years of age. And that year, it was 1994. That adds up to 1997, my birthday plus the day, the month I was born, because the way you find out your personal year, let me explain that. The way you find out your personal year, you add your month, the day, and the year that you're in. That will let you know what's your personal year cycle. So in my personal year cycle, in that year, it added up, of course, in 1994, added up to 1997, and that equals 26, and I was in my 8-year cycle. Another depression year. In that year, it was also, remember what I told you about 8 is the money and power number. I was lacking money. So I got angry, and I was going to take the life of my own children and wife, and then take my life because of money, lacking money, and going through depression. And you know what street? But first dealing with the 8-year-old, when I went to go cut my wrist in my birthday, in my 8 years, how did I know nothing about that? Watching them damn television shows, Caligula Caesar, and all them crazy movies. How did I know anything about that? But at 8 years old, I was in the bathroom about to do it, and a whole bombardment of different voices just hit my head. I said, why are you doing that? Your mother's gonna miss you. You love your grandmother, what you doing? All of that hit me. And then I ran out the bathroom, dropped the blade and ran out the bathroom. The next time this happened was with my wife, my second wife. Love her to death, me and her good friends. Every time I come to Georgia, she lets me stay at the house. We respect each other. I help her out. We're still there with each other, with our children and everything. They all grown and everything. Other time, the first thing that came to my mind is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's voice, because I was in the nation at that time, going through it, but I couldn't tell none of the brothers because I don't think they would understood. And the ministers in Chicago, and I did try to talk to one of the ministers. Khalid was going through his stuff in 94 because I was after King College. Conrad was there, and I tried to tell them, and nobody really understood because it probably didn't ever went down. I stood up in the FOI class and said, is it right to think about killing your family? I said that to him. And Minister Conrad and the captain at that time said, we need to talk to this brother. So they came and talked to me, and I still had it in my mind that same night I left. And that same night, the first thing that came to my mind, I had the knife in my hand, I'm looking at my children, I'm looking at my wife, and I said, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad came, because I used to listen to a lot of the state. He said, think 5 times before you do. So Elijah Muhammad kept on. It started low, and then it kept on getting louder. And I put the knife down, and I said, let me leave this house. Because sometimes when you are going through money problems, sisters, you gotta be very careful how you talk to men when they're going through money issues and they're depressed. And they're not telling you, they're not talking to you about it. Like Michael Basin wrote, men cry in the dark. We cry in the shower, and we pretend we got soap in our eyes. Oh, I wasn't crying, I was soap got in my eye. We cry in the dark. So Elijah Muhammad helped me to get through that. That voice got me through that. That's why I'll never dog out, disrespect Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because I know he saved my 4 children that I had with her. 4 of them. The last but not least was when I got out of the nation and became inactive. I went back into entertainment, became a reggae DJ and singing and all that kind of stuff. But the last time was in my nightclub days. That was the age of 32. This was the age of 27. That was the age of 32. And it was at 2/1. It was in 1999. I'm just showing you how these numbers kept on coming back at me. And when you add the 2 plus 1 plus 1999 equals 2002 equals 4. Another depression year came up on me. And that was the last time I thought about it. Let me explain the story of that. It's going to be in my autobiography. I was in the club And I was a top radio personality back in those days, making $60,000 a year, doing morning shows and all that kind of craziness, doing all that kind of stuff, doing radio, hosting all the major reggae shows like Buju and all the big shows I was hosting. I was in the club, I had the rope ready, and a lady ran upstairs. Call it an angel, call it an ancestor, call it whatever. And she said, brother, I'm looking for King Simon. I'm looking for Simon. Where's Simon at? I said, I'm Simon, sis. How you doing? And I was like down and depressed. She said, I just heard your name on the radio. And they said you was a good guy to talk to if you want to rent, that he was very accommodating. He had a big smile. So anytime you deal with Simon when you go to this club named Temptations in Brooklyn. And the lady said she wanted to rent out the club. But the way she brought her energy and said what she said to me, being that people was talking to me without, that people was talking about me without even me being in their face, out of sight, out of mind sometimes. But I was in somebody else's mind on radio, on a major radio stuff, and they was talking about me on air. And that's what made her stop her car and come and run in the nightclub that I was managing at that time and come to talk to me. She don't know I don't think she knew what she just did for me. Because when she came after she left, I started crying. I broke down in my number 4 year, and I put away the rope because I was going to use one of the major yellow extension cords, the big ass extension cords. I was going to use that, and I already had it planned out. Major DJ Simon Templar dies and hangs himself in the nightclub. It was going to be a big thing. I already had it planned out. That's how deep it was going. And 4 is the number of communication, radio and television, which is interesting. I'm looking at it. But it's also the depressive number. It's also the structure number, the discipline number. So all these different times of my life I could have took in my life. That's what I was going. That's what I just want to make sure that I had. That's why when you go into these depressive things, sometimes you don't even know why you're going through depression. And numbers run through your life all the time, through dates, through months. It runs through your life all the time. And then after I told my father in 2000, I said, because me and my father just started getting back to each other, and he had left when I was young. He said, your great-grandfather hung himself. It's in the DNA. Something's in the blood. That's why it says the sins of the father will fall upon the child to 3rd and 4th generation. That's not religious. That's scientific also. Karmic stuff. Almost took my life like over a woman, over being treated bad, over money and bullcrap. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. So my grandfather did it, and then that's when all the pieces came together. Then it said, oh man, my grandfather had this in his head too. We don't know how many of us have those family members that have those traumas and those dramas and don't know when to tell you. How many people you know in your family goes through trauma and drama? Raise your hand. How many people go through trauma? How many of them don't want to heal? How many of them don't want to heal? Think about it. How can you help them? We don't have the mental institution. Let me tell you something. This so-called conscious community or the Hebrew community, the Muslim community, they should set up mental institutions because they're mentally sick people. We're here in United States of America, which if you study the whole thing about the United States of America, check this out. The numbers of the United States of America when it was founded is what? Go ahead, somebody said it. 17, what's the date? July 4th, 1776. Think about the sevens. 7, 4, 2 mental numbers. 2 mental numbers. America's founded under. But you got to remember, they let out all the thieves and the criminals of Europe and brought them here to start this. So what kind of mentality do they have? And then they know the numbers too. 1776, 6 and 1 is 7, and then you got the 7s. A whole bunch of mental disturbed people. This whole world is this whole United States of America is mentally disturbed. Think about it. Numbers ain't lying to me. They ain't lying to me, and I ain't gonna lie to you. And when you take that 7 plus 4 plus 1776 equals 1787. Again, the 7s keep on popping up. Then you get the 1 plus the 7 plus the 8 plus the 7 equals 23. 23 again equals 5. And like I told you, one of the numbers for mental fatigue or mental stomach is a number 5 also. So they got, even when you add up all their numbers, it adds up to mental numbers. It's a crazy ass world. Let's be real. It's a crazy world. Any questions? Whoa, any questions? Hey, look, I'm ready. I'm good. Any questions? Yes, sir. I see. Talk to me. Very good. Thank you very much.
Right.
Let's run through. Let's run through all of them. Let's run through all of them. In numerology, the number 2, number 1 represents, like I said, courageousness, represents trailblazer, just giving you the basics, represents ambition. The number 2 represents sensitivity, represents compassion, represents love. It represents companionship on one side. Y'all are usually people born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 29th, the 20th of the month, the 29th of the month are very intuitive people. They tap into their intuition very well. And anybody born under the number 2, I always tell them they should take care of their stomach. Stomach area is very important because that rules the stomach area. It also says anybody born under the 2, like Brother Baruch is born on 29th, which actually acts as the 11, and 11 becomes a 12. That's why he's doing a vegan restaurant. This is about health. Got to take care of his health all the time. 1 deals with circulation. Anybody born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, the 28th of the month, that deals with circulation. It deals with heart. It deals with the eyes. Number 2, stomach, gastric system, the gastric area. Also, being careful of ptomaine poison. 2s always have to watch out for their stomach. Number 3, rules, and let me clarify with 1. 1 rules high blood pressure. 2 rules low blood pressure. 3 rules low blood pressure. 3. And it also rules the nerves. I always tell 3s, don't let people get on your goddamn nerves. Nerves, it rules the nerves. Just give you the basics. 4 rules mental issues again, depression. Also it rules mysterious ailments. Anybody born on the 4th, anybody born on the 13th, anybody born on the 22nd, anybody born on the 31st of the month. That's what it rules. That's why I tell people born with a number 4, or you have a certain amount of these. Now, if you have, I'm not just saying your birthday, but if you have a certain amount of these numbers in your chart, in your namesake, because remember, the name transposes to the letters transpose the numbers. If you have too much of these numbers in it, you can also attract any of these ailments and diseases too. That's why I always do a health segment in my numerology session when I break down your health. Because you're getting older, and a lot of us as young people think they're invincible to bad health and all that, when it's not true. Nah, when you get older, and I'm 52, man, I'm glad I made it to 52. That I can still work out, do my push-ups and do my thing and work out. You know what I'm saying? Before,
I got a 6-month-old. I just want to let everybody know.
Okay, see? And you're 53. See? See, I got 9 children. I did all my work. I got 5 grandchildren. So, no, you laugh. Mysterious ailments. So I always tell people with 4s or a certain amount of 4s, always get more than 1 opinion. Do not settle for 1 doctor you're dealing with. Always go to your naturopath, go to your homeopath, go to your nutritionist. Don't, because y'all go through misdiagnosis also. You gotta be careful, misdiagnosis, mysterious ailments that they can't find. And remember, that doctor's trying to make money just like everybody else. But you got to get more than 1 opinion. The number 5 deals with insomnia. For people born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month, insomnia, it deals with nerves also. It deals with paralysis. I ain't gonna spell all that. Paralysis. It deals with also the need to get rest. 5, y'all be all over the place. Y'all so scattered and all that. You need to take time for yourself and get rest. Number 6 rules everything from here down to here. So you'll rule the sinus area, the throat area, the mouth, the lungs, the chest area, down to the vaginal or the penis area. So 6 are usually prone to venereal disease if they're not careful. 6s. 6 represents balance, harmony, need for balance and harmony in your life. You can't just do any and anything. 5 is the scattered number. You got to be careful of scattering your thoughts. And 4 is the structured number. 3 is the expressive number, the expansion number. 2 is the sensitivity number, the one that's in tune with things. The 1 is the assertive number, the courageous number. 6 is the balance number, balance, harmony, truth, justice, reciprocity, ma'at. The scale. That's why Libra is ruled by the number 6. And so is the sign Taurus, ruled by the number 6. 5 is ruled by Gemini and Virgo. 4 is ruled by the Aquarius, and on the other end of the spectrum, Leo. 2 is the moon number, so Cancer is the one that 2 rules. 3 is ruled by Jupiter, the expansion, the bigger planet, larger planet. 1 is ruled by the sun. Going to 7. 7 is ruled sometimes by Neptune or the moon. They share those 2 energies with number 7, with the number 2 also. They share that same energy. 1 is just positive and 1 is just negative. 8, Saturn. Anybody, now dealing with 7, let me deal with the health with 7. Those people born on the 7th,
Or 16.
the 16th, or the 25th. Water, 2 and 7 are water numbers, so you got to drink plenty of water. Also taking care of your stomach. Also 7, like 4, is the number of depression and worry. You can worry yourself to sickness. You can worry yourself to death. 7, I've known 7s and 4s to check themselves into mental facility. I have a good friend now in Cleveland, Ohio, that does it almost every year because of her trauma that she's been through with her ex-husband and her son that's grown up and don't even talk to her. So she don't understand it mentally because she held on to it. Let me just finish this off because I can get into some other stuff. 8 rules the knees, the teeth, the bones. It rules the liver. It rules headaches. People born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month. It rules the intestinal area. So you always got to be careful. It's shaped like the intestines too. Think about it. 8 also deals with mysterious ailments, and it also deals with wrong prescriptions and wrong diagnosis. Just like the number 8, because they're multiple of each other. Those are the most stronger. That's why in Western numerology, the 8 and the number 4 are really destructive to each other. That's why even if you come to me in a relationship, I don't use Western astrology on that. I use the Indian, go to the Chaldean, because in the Chaldean or the Indian, numerology, there's a support. How you do it is about discipline and structure for both, and it's about communication. I show you how to do that. It's all about clear communication because these are communication numbers. This is just that this one likes to be to itself a lot. This got to be out there because he's trying to make money all the time, or she's trying to make money. This one stay in its own head. People born on the 4th, the 13th, or the 22th, they stay in their own head a lot. 31st, stay in their own head. When you're laughing, why you laughing? Somebody laugh. When I hear laugh, I know something. You born on what day? 22nd. Y'all stay in your head. Sometimes you think too much, but sometimes it is what it is. Don't think too much. Be structured, be disciplined. The 8 also does suffer from that, and the 7 suffers from that a lot. But most of the mental numbers, but these are the 2 stronger mental numbers that have to be careful of any mental problem. Like Macmillan, he died in the number 4 year. 4s. A friend of mine just killed herself. She was born January 13th, and when we tried to reach out to her, she blocked everybody and hung up her phone and just took the pills and killed herself and left her 2 children. Just this year, early in the last year, I mean. Crazy. 4s, I always, if a 4 contacts me or wants to do a service with me, I make sure I take care of them and make sure I push them to always, people born under those 4 energy, listen to motivational speakers to keep you motivated. Every day, if you could do it all the time, do it. And leave the news alone, because the news is negative. They give you first 25 minutes, 2 plus 5 is 7. They give you all this mental bombardment of madness. They know what they're doing. I'm trying to tell you, they study this stuff. The lexicon writers of dictionaries and they study numerology, they study astrology. These are these Jews and these Christians that study this stuff. The Jesuits and the high-ranking Jews, they study this stuff. So going to 9. 9 rules the hot ailments like flus, measles, chickenpox. That's what that rules. So anytime I see a 9, if you're in New York or you're traveling with a lot of people, always be careful of somebody that might start sneezing and around you and start coughing and all that kind of. Go the other way. Go the other way. But also 9 rules accidents. 9 rules car accident, truck accident, rules bruises, cuts, bumping themselves. 9 also rules. 9 also rules weapons. Anytime I see somebody born on the 9 or born on the 18th or the 27th month, I always tell them, if you're going to study weapons, be proficient at it. Go to martial arts and study whatever Kali or whatever weapons you can study with the knife and all, how to move a knife, how to use a knife. I learned that for years. I'm good with knives. I just don't try to carry it too much. I use a pen, improvised weaponry. That's what Dr. Master Duncan taught us. And if you're studying guns, go to a gun range. Go study. Go really take on the gun range. Don't just go. Just don't go into it and act like a Jamaican shooting anyway. We used to just shoot anywhere we want to shoot. We used to do that on the streets of New York. And even other people get shot instead of the person. Go take gun ranges if you're born on the 9th. People born on the 11th or the 22nd of the month. Totally different energy. You said you're born on the 22nd? Let's start with you first. and then, you born 11/22? You got a lot. And that equals to 33. So, man. How's your life, man? It's been so rough, right? People born under these numbers, master numbers, I always tell them it's a rough life because you probably wasn't taught how to handle these numbers. Y'all go through some rough times, but you were made for this. That's why you were born in. You were made for it. And 22, let's deal with the 11 first. That is the visionary number. That is the number that sees what other people don't see. But on the negative, they got to be careful of deceiving other people or people deceiving them. 22 is a number that sometimes is so naive to their environment that they won't get it until they're surrounded by danger, and then they realize they've been surrounded by danger. That's why 22, which is the number 4, is the number of secret haters. So 22, which is the 4, always got to be careful who they tell their secret to, and be mindful of who they tell their secret to, because not everybody around you is, like I always say, your kinfolk ain't your real folk. You got to be careful. 22. 11's got to be careful of deceivers. That's what 11 got, because and I dare to say people born on the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th. They are master numbers in my book. And one more numerologist that I read that was older than me said that this is a master number only because 0 adds high potential. Anything that the 0 follows, just like the 2, doubling of the 2 made that a doubling, the 0 adds potential to make that a more powerful number, whether negative or positive. 0 added to the 2 makes that a more positive number. A powerful number, whether negative or positive. 0 added to the 2 of the 1 makes it a more positive number, a powerful number, because the 0 adds potential to anything that it follows. That's why we're in the 2000 years, and no one can say that 2 is the feminine number, but it has become more sensitive and more feminized in the 2000 years. In this year is 2000. We have seen more of the homosexuality come in. We've seen more of the feminist movement coming even heavier. We've seen more men being more sensitive than they used to be in the 1990s. But we was in the 1990s and all. We wasn't like that. In the 1980s, we wasn't like that. Think about it. And I'm not getting, see, the problem with the 2000 family, and this is not against women and all that. Yes, this was supposed to come up, but 2 represents balance. It's being perverted by a feminist movement where y'all just throwing off the balance and just thinking it's about you and not the balance anymore. And then y'all are the only ones healing and you're not bringing men to heal. We don't have no healing circle for men no more. So men are gonna. I know women that are that's abstinent right now and don't want. And you got a man that ain't healing. You're going to Queen of Four and you studying under Queen Meat and all these other people healing, and you ain't getting him into a healing thing so he can meet you where you at. So when it's time to come back together, y'all can make it happen. He needs healing too. I told you my life, I needed healing. I'm still growing into myself. But I'm willing to take the chance and go study with the Queen of Four. I'm an honorary member of the Man Heal Thyself movement with Queen of Four. I work with her. She called me yesterday before I came here to find out something about to connect with Brother Polite. Let's connect with him in Florida because she was with the family when Nipsey Hussle got. She's there. Why you see all that? I shared all that stuff going on out there. The wife and everybody. The mother was in it already, but they knew of Queen of Four, and Queen was with his girlfriend, his wife. Let's say his wife. He was with his wife, and then it happened. So, sisters, there's a lot of sisters in here. If you got a man and you ain't bring him out, maybe he didn't want to come out. I know y'all trying to be patient with him, and sometimes they just hard-headed. We hard-headed. We really are. We hard-headed. But in your healing, introduce him to some type of healing. Even if he don't want to come, just play stuff around the house. Play some healing stuff around the house. Play some money healing. Because men love money. And I let them hear Reverend Ike. Because Reverend Ike dropped that money healing. Because men don't believe they're men without wanting to be healed. They want money so because they believe only money can make everything. Well, it's not about money, it's about balance. It's about loving for yourself and loving to heal yourself. That's why I do numerology, to help guide. Because each one of these numbers, I see the trauma in all of them. When I see the male numbers, too many male numbers in your chart, then I know you had a problem with your father. If you have too many female numbers, I know you had a problem with your mother or somebody, a male or female in your family. Maybe you got molested. The molestation numbers is the 2, the 6, the 5, and the 4 the most of the time that I've studied, because in order for us to understand this to be a science, it had to be observable, it had to be measurable, and it had to be repeatable. So I observe all these things and I see which numbers that keep on coming up all the time. All the time it keeps on coming up. That's why if you tell me that child's birthday, when is that child's birthday?
It's your
baby. You all right?
Is that your baby?
How you doing, my brother? How you doing, sir? You know, smile with me. Every baby I meet smile with me because they see all my angels. They all around me. They here. I know where they are. I know. I dream about them all the time. What day is he born? The 9th? 11/9. Okay, great. He's Scorpion, number 9. That's already number 9. The Scorpion ruled by number 9. Make sure he stays connected to his father. Even though his father gets crazy. We might get a little argumentative. You know how men, and you know what I'm talking about. 9 needs that male energy. He needs that male energy. And what's so interesting, his alignment number is 11, which is a 2, which is the female energy. So he needs the balance of 2. That's what I went straight to. But I see what can happen if the 2 don't work together. Even if you're not together, try to keep bombarding that man to stay in that boy's life all the time. Because we go through our ups and downs, and that 11 says he's very intuitive. He's a master number. Be careful because 11 is an alignment number. 11 is when I added the 1 plus the 9. That's when I got the 11. Because let's say turn this into a 2 and 2 plus, and that's 11. Please make sure you know all the babysitters that's around him. Make sure you know who is babysitting him when you go there. Make sure you know who's who, because that, like I said, 2s are one of the molestation numbers. 2, 6. They always have to know who's who around that child, because 11 is the number of deception. And people will, because of his natural love that he exudes, that warmness he has, people take advantage of it. You get the positive and negative of it. Always pay attention. I got founded, my life path is an 8. I got founded by my girl cousins when I was young. We didn't rectify this until 3 years ago. While I was 49 years of age, crying on the phone, come to realize cycle continued. They got molested by cousins in our family. The young male at this was like, I was 10 years old then. After going through the 8 drama and then going into 10-year-old madness with my cousins, beautiful female cousins, but we're best of friends today because we have to reduce that and heal from that. And they was crying on the phone with me. We were young, we're teenagers, and we just got messed around. And they were saying all kinds of stuff. I said, look, I'm going to write it in my book. I might not mention your name, but I'm going to write it because I have to release. And if men don't release, like women are releasing in these healing circles, if men don't release, they're going to explode. If men don't release, they're going to explode. That's right. That's what I'm saying. I love children. I love children. I might have one more. I don't know. One more. I got 9. I might make it the whole 10. So in numerology, I find out the traumas through your numbers. When I do sessions, some of these numerologists don't do that. I have a gift. You have a gift. Use your gift. And let's help the world. Let's heal the world. Bob Marley said in one of his things, he said, the wicked people are working 24 hours to keep this world wicked. So the righteous have to work 24 hours also. Paraphrase. But he said basically that. He's born under the number 6, which is the number of healing, health, balance. He's born February 6, 1945. That's Bob. No matter how many children and how many women he had to keep everybody tight. He had to make sure everybody, his legacy lives on. He had to make sure his alignment numbers are 8. 8 represents the legacy number because 2 plus the 6 is 8. That's his legacy. He's supposed to leave legacy. And him said, "In pick did not starve." And up to this day, none of them starving. Not one of them, even the one in the Marines, ain't starving. I didn't know he had a child in the Marines. Bob had some children. He had 11 children. Come on now. Stop playing. I'm not trying to catch up, but I will have one more if I have to. But so that's why it's important to study the numbers, because numbers just, where the beautiful sister does astrology, where sometimes they got to go to the ephemeris and do their thing and all that. Numbers give us a quick bird's eye view of what's going on, real quick, fast. Then I tell them, you know how many people I've always referred to her and referred to Baruch or referred to Astro. I refer people to other, because that's not my strength. Astrology is not my strength. Numerology is. And because I believe that everybody can eat, I share. Why am I hogging for me? I don't know everything. And if that's her strength, I give it to her. And if they want a numerology, she gives it to me. Not everybody does that. Not everybody shares like that. That's just my humanitarian Aquarian nature. I'm born February 1st, 1967. That's just my nature. That's how I'm going to do shit. Your turn?
Hey.
Y'all February 1st? Go ahead. Same year? Lord have mercy. Where's she at? I know, where's she at? Where's she at? Is she here?
No.
Okay. Oh, she in Baltimore? Okay, see. She from New York?
Hey.
Oh, get out of here. Yeah, we love New York. So, any questions? I know I just answered. Any questions? Ray, please, let's do it. Yeah, sister, I did a mail to the sister. What's that? Yes, your birthday? June 21st, you? Okay, you born the same day as Dr. Yoke's son, the 25th. Which, one thing about 25th, always remember you have to observe and listen to people more than you speak. You realize that there's time you like to be in the cut. We got to finish. Got time about you own this, so I know.
Right.
See my food. You make sure you put my food over there too. You hook my food up. Put it over there. Come after this. I mean, but people born, and then your intuitive Cancer. See, with the Cancer, water energy. 7, 2 plus 5 is a water energy also. So that water energy, you got to be very careful of energy vampires. Read a good book by Energy Vampires by Dorothy Harbour called Energy Vampire. Good book. Anybody? People that are prone to those energy, because you're 22, that's 2 water numbers. You're prone, and you're on the cusp of Scorpion and Sag. You're on the cusp, and you're cusping them out. You're right there. So you have to pay people that are under water numbers, especially a water sign, gotta be careful. And there's another one called Dodging Energy Vampires by Kristen Northrup. Northrup. Kristen Northrup. She's an MD. Dodging Energy Vampires, and then Energy Vampire. Somebody, male next. This brother, what's up?
I want to ask 2 questions.
You want to ask 2 questions, or we're going to say we want to hook up everybody? So go ahead. Go where you want to go.
I'll just say, what is the difference between someone that is like an empath compared to the number of rock? understand it, that would be based on something that
When is your birthday?
January 22nd, same day as Tom Hanks.
Oh, January 27th, same day as Dr. Apple. Okay. Very good. Now, what I try to know as much as I can. If I don't, I Google. Now, your 27s, because of those 2 and 7s, those are the empathic numbers. But the 9 itself is also very intuitive numbers in numerology, but it's from a fire perspective. So where 2 and 7 might be battling each other, where you find yourself doubtful sometimes and indecisive in certain things, that's what the 2 and 7 does to you sometimes. He's laughing because he knows. The 9 that it adds up to represents your assertiveness from the downloads that you receive, from the inspiration. Because you got the downloads. It's there for you to do. Then your alignment numbers are 28. It's a divorce number known as divorce number. So I always ask people that have the 28, if you had a good relationship with your father or a bad relationship. How did that go?
I feel like it was something that I struggled when I was younger, but when I got older, I appreciated it.
Good. So you've developed, you've healed from that. And that's what's important. See, but you see how it was, you see how I hit it right in the nail? Because that alignment number is the first number. And that represents a first cycle of what you go through. Although it goes throughout your chart all your life, those are particular times when it goes and comes back. But the strongest time is from when you was young until a certain, like 27 and all that kind of stuff, until you resolve certain things. That's why you're already an empath. You're already deep. What year you born? 1991. So but add 1991, how much that adds up to? If you add it all the way across, that's another 2 energy that's there. So there's another healing. There's the empathic number again. That's part of your life. That's part of your path there, bro. That's part of your path. And usually that kicks in, especially with health, as you're getting older, because you're supposed to be into natural health and all that. You took Dr. Africa's class, right? So that's what you're supposed to be doing, especially as you're getting older, because we need more Dr. Africa. He's going to pass on. He keeps on saying it. He got killed when he was young. People don't know that. Dr. Africa. He told the story, right? He got shot and he was pronounced dead. And the doctor's spirit said, let's check his pulse, and he was found alive. And Dr. Africa had to relearn everything. So he thought that's what everybody did. Read everything, studied every instrument. He played the piano. You ever heard of him? Boy, he ripping on his piano. She studied Dr. Africa. So I met her over at Dr. Africa's house. I'll go in there and stay and hang out. And Dr. Africa had to relearn. He played with Richard Fry. He back up bad, but he won't write that story. His job is about health, and I gotta respect that. I want to bring him. Actually, I bring him, Phil Valentine, and all of them to do a musical lecture, because all of them play music, but they don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Who would come to a concert with Dr. Africa and Phil Valentine and a few other guys? Who would come to a concert like that? And then a major lecture after that? No, Dr. Africa plays the piano like it's no one's business. You gotta hear him, but he don't want you to catch him on video. That's just him. I got that. I understand. That's that 7 in his 2-7 that be like shutting it down. Like, yo, Simon, we out. So you understand where the empathic energy comes from. That's where the next question, a female sister.
Several years back, number 1010, the number 1010 followed me wherever I went.
Good.
Like for a good year and a half, everywhere I went, I saw this number. So I don't understand
1010.
why that was.
So let's talk about some angel numbers, right? Let's talk about some angel numbers. Who be seeing these type of numbers? 444, 555, 1111. Okay, let's get into it. This is some fun stuff. Matter of fact, a good book to get, although she's very brief and basic. Doreen Virtue. Who said Doreen? Somebody said the name. I know you would know. Girl, stop playing.
Yes,
Your hair all out. I know you would know. Go ahead. Doreen Virtue. 101, angel numbers. Very basic and comes from a Christian background. Which is interesting. Not too many Christians are doing that, but they do acknowledge their birthday. Let's be real. Doreen Virtue, the angel numbers 101. She go all the way to 99. Very good. I enjoy reading this, and I help people. But always remember, when you start seeing numbers like that, where there is a positive, there is a negative. There's duality. See, they give a lot of the positive in these books. If you understand your negative, then you can learn to sidestep it. Sidestep the negative, so you see in 1010, which individually 1010 represents the wheel of fortune. that anything you put your mind to, especially at that particular time that you've seen it, would be good for you. But the negative is second guessing yourself. Indecisiveness. You probably wasn't sure about where you was going in your life at that time when you were seeing that stuff. Then the 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2, plus 0 equals 2, which deals with the indecisive number. And again, 10 plus 10 equals 20. I go holistically with it. 20 in numerology represents, tarot numerology represents the awakening, the judgment card. Got to be a good judgment of character, especially people born on the 20th. Got to learn to be a good judgment of character, but it's also awakening to new purpose, new plans, new journey, to do something great in your life. That's what the 20. Again, that's why I call these numbers master numbers, because that 0 adds potential. Some numerology will never claim that, but I claim it. And in my new book, The Memoirs of Holistic Numerology, I've given a new name, like I'm naming everything else new. I'm creating my own name. Forget these people. They can't tell me what to say. I got Numerovation, that's mine. Numeroversity, that's me. The next name is going to be something powerful. I just don't want to say it out there because it's not even in the dictionary. It's not even on Google what the word I'm coming up with. So, but it's going to represent. It's going to mean holistic numerology. That's what numerovation problem. So when you see the 111, again, the positive of this is you should pursue whatever goal you were shooting for, because the angels are telling you, or the ancestors, your angelic ancestors are telling you that you're on the track. But the negative of it is that you doubt it. You doubt your abilities and your greatness. And plus, remember, all this adds up to your number too. You're born on the 29th, which equals 11, which is a 2. It's your number. So that 1 and 1, it's still your number. You're still a master number. But the problem, master numbers always going through some down issues, especially spiritual. And y'all are very highly intuitive. You and Dr. Baruch are very highly intuitive people. Y'all see things that other people don't see. You might not be able to tell them because they might think you're crazy. Think about it. Especially when you was young. So now y'all pick up on these things, and your dreams are probably very vivid. When you dream, you started out your dream like, what the hell? Very vivid. Master numbers always go through. And then people that have those, that are going through those, now, not to say that everybody don't go through it. It's just that y'all go through these, they're born under it. Y'all go through the cycles of it, because remember, runs through your birthday, the months you're in. Remember, even the month you're in represents a vibration also. Like particularly, I'm in my number 10th month. This would be called my high power month. How did I get here? I'm in my 6th year, because when my 2 plus my 1 plus the 2019, when you add it all together, it adds up to 6. So that's my 6th personal year. 6 plus this month, which is the number 4 month, equals 10. So I'm in my 10th personal month. So my calendar looks totally different than your calendar. Thank you very much. Here's the commercial break. I'm just saying. I'm saying. Look, I improvise. I do acting too, so I used to do improvisation. So understand, that's why it's so important that you pay attention to the numbers when you start seeing angel numbers. When that 111, like when she says 111 in her book. Let's go to her book, for instance, and what I would say, which she's writing exact, because every numerologist and astrologer comes from their own perspective, especially with numerology. We come from our own life experience and our own repetitious observance of this science. So her 111 would be, this number brings you the urgent message that your thoughts are manifesting instantly. So keep your mind set focus upon your desires. Give any fearless thoughts to heaven for transmutation. Good. Wonderful to me. But then when I look at each and every one, and it adds up to a 3, it tells me about the expansion, the expression, how not to be reckless with your number 3 energy. Because on the duality of the number 3, there's recklessness. Be responsible with your tongue. If you want to obtain this, you got to be responsible. That's what it tells me. Other than after I read this to you, then I'll say it. I'll break it down from the negative, because if you're not, just like Just like, okay, who knows Star from Star Report? Star and Buckwild, you ever heard of Star? He's on YouTube. Y'all ever heard of him? He brought out, he's the one that talked about BAM, African Mbata. Now, what's so interesting, he's born May the 3rd. Threes, if they're not responsible with their mouth, they're gonna always get into scandals. Damon Dash, born May the 3rd. Threes, if they're not responsible with their tongue, they're gonna have to get in scandals or end up apologizing like he's been doing. James Brown, born May the 3rd. Got into scandals too. You understand where I'm going with this? So 3 is the number of scandal, and this is the year of exposure and expansion and all that. So R. Kelly got exposed, who was also in his 3 years. Steve Harvey got exposed for who he was in his 3 years. We're not paying attention. I'm paying attention to this. That's what's so deep. So this was the year of exposure. There's much more to be exposed. Much more is being exposed. Pay attention to what they start, when the teachers that was paying off people to make the children pass in school, those rich people, they being exposed. Everybody's backside is being shown. They have to be. This is the year of expansion. This is the year of exposure. And then plus, because we have the 2 and the 19, both of these numbers represent something. Emotions. This represents in the 19 in tarot numerology, the sun. And what does the sun does? It exposes, it shows the light. That's what the number 19 in tarot numerology represents. The sun is shining up. Things being shined upon things. Pay attention to the numbers that we're in. That's why Carl Nelson asked me something about Donald Trump. If y'all heard that was funny. and I said to him, look, we're going into 2020, which in numerology, 2 plus 0 plus 2 is 4, but the 2, once you take away the 2 zeros, it's still 22. Donald Trump is a master number 22 life. So it's also going to be another good year for him, but something weird is going to transpire in a 22 year. Pay attention to what's going to happen. There's going to be somebody that will come up that's going to be real close, but something is going to happen weird as we go into this election. Because 22, that's what master number 22 or the 4 brings about this weird energy that's coming. And that's also 22 in the numerology is also the age of Aquarius, the age of the rebellion. So something real interesting. Now, I know all of us is tired of Trump and all that good stuff and all that, but I look at the bright side of everything. What I learned from Trump is to have legacies and pass on to my children. Because his father passed on his legacy to him, he's going to pass it on to his children. Here we go. How you doing, brother? Thank you. But he's going to pass it on to his children. Take the business aspect and pass that on to your children. Generational wealth. This is a great time to set up your business. You're in the number 3 year. This adds up to 12, which is a 3. 12 deals with anxiety of the mind. 12 deals with also make sure you speak up in a timely fashion. Don't let anybody disrespect you as long as you're respectful to people. 12 represents don't be a suffering or be a sacrificial lamb for anybody in a number 3 year. Because there's going to be a lot of sacrifice. People are being sacrificed right now in the media and all that. They're being sacrificed. 3 year, what's the name, was 33 when he died. This is a sacrifice going on here. Casualties of war. Yes, ma'am.
What about Julian Assange, the one from WikiLeaks?
WikiLeaks,
He just
I didn't catch that.
let him out.
They just captured him.
Oh, they just captured him?
Where he was staying in Great Britain.
And if, see, he getting caught, he's out there. He caught out. When is his birthday? Anybody can Google that up? Let's go to his birthday. What's his name? Let's have some fun. But when you start seeing master number 22s, 40, they all are messages. All of these, whether you see master numbers or you see angel numbers, there's all messages for you. But remember, everything has a duality. Because if you're not doing the higher, you're doing the lower. How you doing, brother? Hey, until they Google that up back. He's a 3. Boom. When is his birthday? July 3rd. Wow. He's being exposed again. See how things work? There's no coinky thing. Oh, who he is. Go ahead, brother. What you gonna say? 15th of what?
Leo.
You born the same day as Nipsey Hussle.
Leo.
He born August 15th, sir. Interesting. And you say you got what? So you claim all of that, huh? You don't have to claim that because you know what you're doing.
You don't have to claim it.
You see, you just asked me that question. You know what you're doing.
You don't have to claim
Have
it.
you gotten help for that, brother? Not medical. I'm not talking about. What you call it? Drugs. What they give you? What kind of drugs they give you? Damn. He needs to talk to Dr. Africa. Why is it? How come people ain't connecting with Dr. Africa, who was also a mental health therapist for 15 years? How come y'all ain't connecting with Dr. Africa, who could taper him off of those drugs and use the natural herbs that can help you with it? Take Dr. Africa's email, brother, or website, please. Because Dr. Africa, I don't know if you ever brought him here. Dr. Africa was a mental health therapist for years. He's been here, right?
Yeah.
Good. His name is Dr. Laila Africa. And his website is lailaafrica.com.
I spell
Right? His name is on there, lailaafrica.com. Go to his website and get a consultation from him because he'll be able to talk you out, or he won't tell you to remove the medicine so fast, but he's going to balance it out for you to remove it out of your plan, out of that. But that's deep, what you just said. And you're born, what day you born? August 15th, right? Interesting. And you're in the number 7 year. Protect your mind. You're going into an 8 year this year. Protect your mind. Have you been getting depressed lately?
Yeah.
Protect your mind by listening to motivational speakers, but also contact Dr. Africa so he can wean you off of the drugs and wean you more into the natural way of doing it. Because remember, every drug is made by the herb first, and then they add the chemical. It's just how much dosage of the herb you're going to willing to take. So it's just like when I took Dr. Sabi, helped cure me of sickle cell traits. So the herb that he told me to do, I just doubled it and removed it out of my system. Dr. Sabi is real. I don't care what nobody said. I don't care what nobody said, because at the end of the day, when my daughter came to me and said, did I have sickle cell? I said, I had the traits, but her mother has the traits. And she never got full-blown sickle cell. I said I had the traits, and I could prove my medical records that I had it. And then after I did the regimen that Dr. Sabi gave me, I didn't have it. So I know what it is. And that's just with Dr. Sabi. And with Dr. Africa, he's healed me from prostate, because as you're getting older, you want to take care of your prostate. 50, you want to make sure. When I got 50, I started dealing with Dr. Africa, and he started giving me the different herbs that had saw palmetto and all the stuff that he has. And he has his herbs for urinary tract and all that kind of, and that has helped me a lot. I can stand up. I like that. Doc gave it to me. And I drink the sea moss and all that at my age. So that's a beautiful thing. But yeah, you're going into a 7 year, you're in a 7 year going into an 8 year. So if you've been going through these major depressions, and because you're born also, let me show you something. 8 plus 15 equals 23, which is also another mental and nerve number. That's 5. So you're suffering from all that stuff that also deals with your nerves too. That's also a 5 energy. A lot of stuff that you're dealing with can be cured or reversed if you go through the right channels and then go to certain forms of meditation. You might have to get into certain meditation, because meditation can calm a lot, because now you're dealing with the power of the mind and what it can do. And it has proven to work, because if you start thinking more about, you see how you claimed all of that? I wish you would have said, well, I used to have this. At least work on getting rid of it in your mind first. And then somebody around here can guide you to the appropriate holistic doctors that can help reverse, because they have Dr. Africa, Dr. Sabi, she had KT, the arch degree. All of them have a proven track record. Do we lose some? Yes, you lose some, just like hospital. You lose some and you win some. I've heard of people dying on Dr. Sabi's watch. And Teddy Pendergrass died on his watch. But guess what? It was because Teddy decided to go back to eating the same way when doctor told him not to. There you go. Because Dr. Sabi is a very rigid person. But Dr. Africa would tell you to transition off of it first. Dr. Sabi said, no, you have to stop this, that, this. That's it. Dr. Africa said, no, get the soy, cut it down, and then get off of it gradually, because he comes from the medical world. So Dr. Africa is the scientist, Dr. Sabi is the herbologist and engineer. So both of them had different disagreements with each other, and I understand, but I respect both of them because Africa shows us how you go into the lab and show how the herbs work. Sabi understood the herb because he was also like George Washington Carver, talking to the herbs and dealing with it. Dr. Africa comes from another discipline, which both meets to the same way, because he still tells you to get off the sword. He'll still tell you to get off of certain things, just like Sabi did, but he was a gradual. He was all about gradual, because not everybody can stop cold turkey, because you usually get back or go back to it worse. Because when Dr. Sabi was working, and he said it at one of my lectures that I produced for Dr. Sabi, he said Teddy Pendergrass started moving and twiddling his toe. He was surprised after he put him on a diet. But guess who else was working on him? The man in the dark, like you spoke of. The man in the dark, Deepak Chopra, was on Teddy. And he said his name, Deepak Chopra, was the one that was doing it. So, giving you still meat and all that, that's what killed Teddy. He went back to that foolishness. Yes, sister.
So you continue to do Western, you do Indian, you do Chaldean. Which one is the go-to for you, even though you're fluent in all of them? And also,
all
I see that you are, focusing on the birthday. What do you think about the life lesson?
I do all of that. Yeah, I do all of that. I do all of that. But I do that in the major readings. Yeah, I do all of that in the major readings. The destiny, the life path, all of that. The karmic, the numbers, what's missing, and all. I got to do it. But I touch on every one of them to get a better holistic reading. That's why I do a holistic thing. Some people, most of these books will just stay on Pythagoras. Have you noticed? Chaldean is a little, it's still our science, but Chaldea is a little harder, but Pythagoras went and got it and then added the 9 when they told him not to add the 9 unless you needed to add the 9. But of course, the European ain't gonna listen. He wants to create his own because, remember, Chaldea was a nation of people, so they all understood it together. He set up a secret society of the science. So that just shows you where his ego was going, which was trying to protect the science from the Greeks, whatever he was trying to do. But if Chaldea and the people of the nation of Chaldea was already using it together as a family, and everybody was charting their children, charting this and charting that, why turn it secret? Because he's trying to control it and make it Pythagoras. When we already, remember, Chaldean does acknowledge the 9. But when 9 shows up, it's either two different extremes, either universal love and peace and or it's war, destruction, everything is coming down. So they were very careful about the 9. They honored the 9. And remember, 9 add to anything or multiply to anything comes back to itself. That's the power of the 9, just like the 0. They say, and I use gematria if I have to, but gematria, I leave that to people like Blue Pill. That's my brother. Leave that to people like Blue Pill. I'd rather deal with the individual to make you better in the system, to make you a better person. That's what it's all about for me, making you a better person. That's why I do it. It's not about, people ask me about 9/11 and all that. I said, brother, when your birthday? What you concerned about those buildings falling ain't affecting you at all? It's not bothering you. How better can you be so that building will never fall again, or your building and your family will never fall again? Because we have to go back. That's why I like what Brother Panic be saying and Bobby Hammond be saying. They be telling you straight up, yo, it's whatever you make it. It's in you. That's why I created Numerovation. It's whatever I say it is. It's not what, I don't care what most of these people say, because it's from us, like you just said, it's ours. And we invented it. We don't care about what they say, because most of these new numerologists, most of the new numerologists book right now, they won't even mention Egypt anymore. They stay on Pythagoras. Pythagoras is the father of this. But Pythagoras is a thief. Renoko Rashidi said it in one of his lectures that Isaac Newton said that Pythagoras used to go out to India, out to Africa, and then brought it back. He's a thief. And we used to admire the thieves. Indiana Jones. So watch their movies. When they came as far as missionaries and architectural this and scientists like Pythagoras, they were all in that whole movement of robbing us and taking it back to do what they had to do. This is the age of Aquarius. I don't care, I'm the rebel. That's my sign now. Pisces believe, Aquarius no. We're going to know. It's time for me to know. I ain't got no time for the fools. I got 2,000 years to do this. I won't be here for 2,000 years, maybe. But I got 2,000 years to do this. I expect everybody to jump on the knowing thing, not with arrogance, because that word ego has duality. Either you're going to express God's order or you're going to etch God out. One or the other. Either you're going to express God's order or you're going to etch God out. Duality. Everything has duality. So sometimes the ego is necessary with the right intention. What are you doing with the ego? I'm expressing God's order. I don't care what none of you people say. Europeans can't tell me nothing about that. They can only guide me to what, like Baba Kaba Hiawatha said, from Booker T. Coleman from Hidden Colors. Take the knowledge that Europeans give you like it's vomit, but you got to sift through the vomit to get the good stuff. You got to sift through it. They vomit, they've eaten up all of our information, and they spit it back out with their names on it. That's why I tell people, put your face in back of your book when you write. I'm tired of their faces in back of their book. I'm tired of their faces in back of their book. Put your face. So in the next 20 to 50 to 100 years, y'all gonna see King Simon's face. My children's gonna say, man, my pops was doing this. My grandpa was doing this. And I don't want them to lighten it up. It's getting too light now. Every time they print the damn thing, I'm becoming lighter and lighter. What the hell's going on here? I'm gonna fix that. I'm just saying. Then after 100 years, Bob Marley will be white. Y'all go ahead and mess around because they're promoting his father over his mother. That's what they're promoting Bob Marley's father now, because he was the white captain who molested the mother. Let's be real, because he never stayed in the life. He left. Let's be real. So that's why those who are supposed to write books, like it sounds like you're supposed to write a book. When's your birthday? No, you know not to tell me this.
327.
I was like, you know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be writing. You know that. You're writing already, aren't you? Have you started writing? You're not saying.
I'm not.
Okay. I'm just saying, you know what you're supposed to do. Your alignment number is telling it all to me. Your whole, don't worry. Just do it. Just do it. Michael Jordan said, just do it. Whether you fail or you succeed, you'll learn from your failure. And you move accordingly, or you expand in your success. Get in the field. The three types of people. People who, what? Make things happen. People who watch things happen. And people who don't know what happened or wonder what the hell happened. That's right. I'm in the field. I'm running in the field. I'm not going to be out there. I'm not watching nothing. I'm going to be in the field because every one of us have a job to do. Les Brown says the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why you were born. Imagine every one of you, and I'm going to repeat what he said. He said something about imagine all of your gifts and talents surrounding you at your deathbed. And they're looking at you with angry eyes and saying, we came to you, but you didn't use us. We came to you, all 20 or 30 of them, all these talents you got. Just for your number, I know how much talent you got. You know that. I know how much you got. Your numbers tell me that. His numbers tell me that. His numbers tell me that. Just by that, I just see that. Don't go to your grave and become fossil fuels without losing your time. I don't care how old you are. Kentucky Fried Chicken started his business in the 60s. Come on. And we hear our people eating chicken like crazy nowadays. Kentucky Fried Chicken, he started his business in the 60s. In his 60s. We all have a talent. We all need to produce. We need to keep it moving. I hope you enjoyed what I did, my family. Anybody else have any questions before? Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Sister Narray. Woo! A Virgo. You know that's something else, huh? See, August Virgos is different than September Virgos. Has anybody noticed this? Yeah, she knows it. Y'all say what you mean what you say. Anybody born connected to the 27th, say what they mean what they say, but remember you got to say it with love, because words can cut deeper than a sword. Anybody born on the 9th, 18th, or 27th of the month, I always tell them they got to be elevate on their higher level, because 9 is the highest number on the number chart until it repeats itself 1 to 10, 11 to 19, and took 999, whatever it goes to. But 9 represents universal love. And you could say things, especially 9, they could say things to people that will hurt, especially people that's your family and all that, and they will hurt for a long period of time. They'll cut right into you. You have to be very mindful and be empathetic. There's a thing called empathetic. You have to be empathetic about what you do and how you say it. All 9s have to do that. You understand? Go ahead. One of these brothers over here said something. What? Come on, which one? You? Yeah. I already got you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know what the classifications of the numbers were, because I heard you mention like the alignment number, your master number.
Yes, sir.
So, how do you discern which one of those?
Okay, let's deal with this.
Good question.
I'll be cleaning for days. Let's deal with the birthday first. But in your name, let's say my name's Simon. Let's deal with the birthday, 2/1/1967. Each one of these has a meaning at which point they are at. In numerology, especially under the Pythagorean system, I've noticed is that this month that I'm born represents a certain cycle that I was in, my first cycle from when I was a child up to a certain age. Number 1 is the second cycle, from after 27 up to like 37, going into the fourth, going around 35, 30, 36. That's to another age. This year cycle starts from like 45 or 55 up until I die. These represent 3 different cycles. Now, in cosmic numerology, when I add this number to this number, that's called the alignment number or the achievement number. This number is called the personal number. This number is called the 3rd trimester or the 3rd cycle, using the year, 3rd cycle number. Still connected to this as being a second cycle, this being a first cycle. And then when I add all this up to, it adds up to 17, which actually is my life path. So this life path follows me throughout my whole life. So if 17 is my life path, which actually equals an 8, it means money always came to me. And that's true. Money has always come to me, but because I didn't know how to invest it, it always go out of my hand. So people with 8 life path or people with 8 personality, as always, got to protect their money. Now, when you go to names now, the names, when you add all these letters up, which this is a 1 in the Pythagorean system, this is a 9 in the Pythagorean system, this is a 4 in the Pythagorean system, this is a 6 in the Pythagorean system, and this is a 5 in the Pythagorean system, that would be called a destiny number when you add all those numbers up. Destiny. The vowels in the name is the inner core. Some people call it the soul urge. Some people call it the soul urge. I keep it simple. I say the inner core of you or the inner you. Because remember, ancient language don't have vowels. It represents the inner you. That's what the vowels represent, the inner you. The destiny, the vowel, the consonants, when you just read the consonants, that represents the outer you. That represents the out. Keep it simple. Some people call it the essential. Some people I've read older numerologists call it personality. They got the personality. They also call the destiny number sometimes personality. So they all mix it up sometimes. That's why I try to keep it simple. But when you read the consonants of the name, of the numbers of the name, that also represents that outer representation of you, what you would outwardly want to do and how you want to do. The inner part of you represents the inner part of you of what you want to do. See, that's what numerology comes. Then you have things like pinnacles. You have challenges. You have karmic numbers, where there's no numbers or no letters in the, let's say I don't have an 8 or a 7. Let's say I don't have an 8 or a 7 or a 2 in this. That would be called my karmic numbers because they're not there. That means I came back to this world to try to get these up or try to manifest or master these or grow into this. That's why I don't have it in the Simon. But because I have so many names, I have Simon, Tyrone, Anthony, it all came up in my chart because I have so many names. So the more names you get, sometimes you inherit new names by yourself. That's why it's very careful if you choose a name. Some of us go into religion, we start choosing Islamic names, Hebrew names, and all that. And if it doesn't coincide or work with your core birthday number, because when I can add my destiny number to my life path number, and that would be called my power goal numbers. It's a whole nother science now, where you find where your power goes. Like my whole name adds up to a number 5, and my destiny is an 8, and 8 plus 5 is 12, right? I mean 13, sorry. What am I saying? 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, 13, sorry. Sorry. 13 would be 13. That would be a 4. Again, my power number would be I have to maintain discipline, structure, organization in my life, but 13 is a powerful number. 13 is not a scary number like Europeans have been teaching us about. 13, if used wrongly, is destructive. But used correctly is one of the most powerful and most dominating numbers in the chart, because not only in the separate of its meaning, the powerful of the number 1 and the 3, which deals with creation, which deals with ambition, which deals with trailblazing, but this also deals with expression, expansion, and exposure. But it equals the 4, which represents the foundation that you lay, also represents communication, it represents organization, it represents dotting every I and crossing every T in what you do and how you do things. I have to have discipline, because discipline is, an undisciplined mind is an insane mind. And 4 brings about discipline, just like the number 8 brings about discipline to anybody that has a number of 8s or 4s in their chart. Anytime I see that, I always say, oh, you lacking something. Because sometimes we do lack these disciplines, although you're supposed to do it. And I tell people all the time, you could be born with all these talents. You're born with all these talents. Whether you use them or not, it's still with you. Whether I would have sang, I was number 5 on the reggae chart. I decided to pull out of it because of the bullcrap that was going on in music. Buju Shaba, all of them know me. Because they say, yo, Simon, we are, man. They'll say just like that when they run up on me. It's because I did not want to tolerate a lot of the crap. And I'm that type of person that reinvents myself. I'm constantly reinventing. I'm constantly busy. That's the Aquarian thing. I love that energy, but also my number 1 keeps me reinvented. And when you understand your destiny and you understand your life path and you understand all these numbers, they become an affirmation for you. They become a motivation. We got to finish it. You all right? Okay, no problem. They become a motivation for us. That's why I do numerovation. So if I read this child's number again, he's 11-9, I know what to tell him when he gets a certain age, or I know what to tell that parent what to do with him and how to be mindful of certain things, because I'm trying to motivate him to be his best and not to be his worst. So I give the parent the positive and the negative of the child. They'll have a little chart run down to say, this is what I got to do with my child. This is what I got to do. This is what I got to keep him in it. Because he's going to gravitate to all the stuff that I guide him to. But at the end of the day, he has willpower. When it's time for him to make his move, he's going to decide what he's going to do. That will, boy, whoo, that will destroys a lot. But my brother, we got to wrap it up. My family, I hope you enjoyed what we did. I hope you enjoyed me. I hope you enjoyed my sister here, Quiet Storm. I hope you enjoyed my brother. Please welcome him back on the stage, the one and the only Dr. Baruch. I can go into a lot more. And if you want any readings from me, please, you can sign up. You can pay in advance, and I'll write your name and your number down, and I'll make sure we have it all done by this week. If you want to do any consultation, I do consultation. I don't just do reading. I do consultation. You want to do an hour, half an hour, $2 a minute, a minimum of 70 to 60 minutes. That's what I do, because I usually go over anyway. I usually go over in my reading because it's so much in my head. Yes, my sister.
I work nights here, so can I use a website or something and set something up for when I have like some time off?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You definitely could do that. You could definitely do that. What days are you off?
I'm off every weekend.
Every weekend?
Yeah.
What time you get off from work? What time?
I get off at 7 in the morning.
7. Then we can do it early in the morning. Don't worry about it. Yeah, do it early in the morning. I do my day starts from 9, 10 o'clock in the morning until 7 p.m. So yeah. All right, go ahead, my brother.
Let's once again put our hands together for brother King Simon. This mic is loud, my mic is okay. Again, we got product over there at the table, so make sure he doesn't go back with anything. Buy him everything off the table so he can, travel back without having to carry a bag.
It's all flyers anyway. That's leading to my product. All the flyers are leading to my product. I don't play games. I ain't got no time. I ain't all that.
Right.
I think smart now, bro. I'm smart.
There we go. I do want to extend an opportunity to everybody in the room, talking about numbers. Anybody interested in getting $100, I just need you all to, I'm going to send around a sheet of paper for, matter of fact, if somebody can do that for me. If you're interested, it's, there's an agreement that I have with a resort. If you go to the resort, you get $100 and you get the weekend stay for free. So if you all are interested, please, you can put your name and your telephone number. That's really all I need. I don't need your email. So your name and your telephone number. You work out all the details. You don't have to go the weekend that I go. You can just go whenever you want to go, do your thing, get your $100, stay the weekend, or do whatever you want to. You want to go up there with your side. I don't know. Whatever happens with you is it's on you. Kid Simon can tell you, the ramifications. Right. But it's been an honor to be able to host our brother. His first time down, hopefully not his last. And prayerfully, you all again show your support and your love for him, because that's what makes it worthwhile. That's what he goes back home and it's like, wow, we got all these different meetings we did, and we helped all these people's lives out. You don't lose, you gain, you benefit when you got an expert like him giving you advice and input into what it is that you need to do in your life. I think you gave out too much information tonight, don't you? I should have stopped him a long time ago. Y'all said, I need a reading. Some of y'all got the whole reading. Y'all like, well, I'm good now. Right. But, again, please show your support for the brother.
Sorry.
Next week, we have Brother Joe.
Brown.
Joe Brown.
Joe Brown.
But Joe Brown. Joe Brown is going to be here. Please send the flyer. If you don't have a flyer, please take that flyer and distribute to all of your friends, family. Go to our Facebook page and distribute that, share it, like it, comment about it. Comment about our brother this evening. Make sure you go to the page and comment you were here, you enjoyed yourself. Don't be a stranger. Come on back. The food is always good. Our goal is to get better, and that's what we're working on. Pray for my mother. She's 91 years old. She's in the hospital. They found a 6-centimeter mass inside of her head, but she's doing all right.
Wow.
We're working it out. There's a route that we take that they don't take, and they can't figure out why I want to get her out of there. So yeah, let's get her home.
Exactly.
We got some work we got to do. So again, I appreciate all of you all for coming out this evening. Please don't be a stranger. Travel safe.
Thank you, brother.
That's about too long.
You funny.
Now, which one of these? This is you, right? So text everything here.
Yes, ma'am.
Set it up.
I know, right?
All righty. And then,
If you want to set up a reading, you can do that if you want.
oh, okay.
And then,
I don't know how long I need.
hey, look,
You say it's
whatever fits you.
30 minutes or
35 minutes for 70, and then it's 130 for an hour. But you definitely get a recording for yourself. Yeah, record everything. Yes, I got time.
34 hours. Okay.
What's your name?
His name is Nania Johnny Shiny.
You want me to say all that, or just say King Simon?
What time were you born?
Because it's like I'm making this.
Five,
It's his 20th birthday.
9:17 a.m.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C.
I'm halfway there.
I see.
Love and respect.
Did I get all
Is that
I
good?
don't know.
5, yeah.
Thank you very much.
So
All right.
anyone else
What's
want-
your price?
Yes.
So when you go on the
Yeah.
website,
Give this.
it'll show you, because it's just more than a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, can you have one of these?
I only got 2. If you want to take a picture, take this one.
Oh,
Okay.
If you want to take a picture, that's fine too. But everything's on
I got
the
everything
website.
written down.
Yeah, everything's on the website.
Yeah, I got it all written.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you very much.
Hope you enjoyed.
So I mean, which one was your site where I can oversign it?
I feel like I'm picking up the same thing.
Text me the full name.
Full name and date of birth. You went to
I'm
credit.
going to do all of it.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
Yes, indeed.
all right. Thank you. My products is on there, everything. My book is on all the flyers too. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, brother. I ain't stressed.
Yeah. But I'm gonna make the plan.
Oh,
Okay.
how you doing?
I just gotta see.
about doing this.
Do you do like?
Oh, you want to do it in advance?
Started
I mean, it's
like,
up to you, but we can do it on the phone. I mean, you can just call me and text me when you're ready. You know?
I'm going
Oh,
to
yeah.
one like
Yeah, you can
May
do that.
24th, but I went to.
Oh, so you can text me tonight, and then I can send you the connection of what you have to do.
You're not showing off your fashion yet?
And I set up the
I'm
date.
more of the artist,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, so if you look on my website, you see that it's
It'll
my
be the time I
paintings
was
and my
born
drawings
in.
and stuff
No,
like that.
no, I just need the year, day, born, and the name.
I
your
have
full
my
name,
product
middle name.
on it because I'm building my website myself.
Okay.
So,
So,
like, I put
Astrology.
I try to put something up there that I created.
Okay.
But
so-
I went to New York Fashion Week
August
in
15th.
2017.
Did they give you Dr. Africa's
So,
information?
me and my ex went to Fashion Week.
Yeah, on my
So
website.
we
That's what I
were-
did.
we saw
Oh, no,
one,
I'm not selling either of my
like,
books.
okay,
I mean, my personal books. Yeah, it's my personal
So we
books.
saw a show. Yeah.
I'm packing these
I'm
up.
gonna go
But,
to a show. May
my book is
24
on, this is my book
here.
Okay.
online.
Send me that info, please. Send me that
Yeah.
info.
You can download it. You can download it. But I think
Yeah, so I'm
PDF.
just like I just
But
registered my
Kindle, I
business
think Kindle's
November 9th
$9.99.
Okay.
because I had
No, it's
invested all
$9.99.
my time into
Okay.
my ex's
Okay.
company, paid for the lights and everything. So we had to
Be
go
safe.
live
Contact
together.
Dr. Africa, okay?
So
So now it's your own thing.
I invested almost 30
How should I pursue my
years.
future and working here?